Well, here we are. Here we are at 7:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello, everybody. I am your Ruffman, your Robert Fat Stacks Malone, your Xander Montgomery the foot. The hell, I forget what I was gonna say. We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
We are live.
Oh boy.
Our good 80s porn music.
Hey everybody, that's right. It is episode 59 of Two Dudes and Some Feces, or maybe bullshit, depending on where you are in the world. I don't know. Tony, how the hell are you doing, my man?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. I am
going up in the Big T.
The big T. Yeah. Well, hey, it's warming up again. We had a big snowstorm the other day, but it's warming up again. The snow is melting. I can see grass. It's like, that's how this winter has been up here. It'll snow. The snow will be here for like a week, and then it'll disappear for 2 weeks, and then it'll snow, and then it'll be here for a week, and then disappear and then it'll snow. It's been very kind of up and down. But spring is around the corner, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I don't really see grass, but I smoke it.
But I'm bummed. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony will be here all week. All week. You love him. You know him. You love him. He'll be here all week. Admission's at the door. So we are watching Scream 4 today.
I get a little Kirby action tonight. Love me some Hayden.
I know. Now, this was my idea because I thought people would probably think, well, we watched the first Scream. People would think, hey, you know what? They're going to watch the second one. Okay, you know what? They're going to watch the third one. No, we're watching the fourth one, fuckers. We're watching the fourth one. Scream 4 from 2011. 11 years after Scream 3. And it's hard to believe that it's already been 9 years since that movie.
We're coming on a decade from this movie. And this movie, for me, I was a late bloomer to Scream 4. I didn't see it in theaters because, like a lot of people, I got tuned out after Scream 3. Scream 3, it had that like Friday the 13th Part 5 effect, right. Where when 4 came out, I was like, but like a year later, we in the States, I don't know if you guys have this in Canada. Do you guys have Redbox? Or had past tense because there's very little left now.
I don't know if it was called Redbox, but we had something like that. Yeah.
For those who don't know, Redbox here in the States, it's like literally what it is. It's a box that's out in front of
you can rent movies
and rent movies for like $1. And believe me, if you're late, they'll hit you with a late fee like real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I Redboxed it back in 2012 because that's when Redbox was really popular, and I was really in the transition of DVD to digital. Like that was the beginning stages of that for me.
Sure.
So I rented it. I was like, what? Whoa, as I pull out my headphones there. I rented it. I was like, what the fuck? It's only going to cost me $1. And surprisingly, it had the Friday the 13th Part 6 reaction because I was like, oh shit, I actually really freaking like this movie. I liked it better than the second one, and I liked it better than the third one. I was like, damn. And I think in part that's why the box office failure for Scream 4 was because of what happened with Scream 3, and everyone was just like, But then we all see it on digital or DVD rental, and a lot of people, I know there's people out there that don't like it, and that's cool. But I know a lot of people are like, it's their second favorite or third favorite as far as sequels goes. It was a lot better than people had expected when they finally saw it.
Right. Yeah, I saw it a couple years ago. I've only seen the movie once, haven't seen it again. But I remember I enjoyed it, but it's hard to know whether I enjoyed it because I thought it was relatively decent movie or it was just the nostalgia factor. It was cool to see these characters back again, and it was cool to see these characters seeing each other back again. Like, it's cool to say, oh, hey, Sydney. Oh, hey, what's going on? Hello, Sydney. Remember me? Oh, my God, that's so cool to see. Well, I mean, but is it, you know what I mean? So So I'm very curious to see kind of how I feel about watching it tonight. Although, of course, I'm sort of half watching. We're watching it, but we're also doing the show. But
I think in part to what you just said here, I want to piggyback off of and not forget, when Scream 4, when I watched it, it was actually a new story along with, hey, we're reuniting with some old friends. New story, meaning that, when you watch the first 3 Screams, you could argue and say Maureen Prescott, Sydney's mother, is the true villain of the trilogy, because without her without her, screwing everybody left and right.
That's right.
None of this shit would go down, and that's what I didn't like as the series advanced. It became about what more Sydney's mother did and the effects that it had. And then, okay, let's really jump the shark. And she has a long lost brother. I was like, no, at least with Scream 4 that, yes, you get the callbacks like the 2018 Halloween did with the original Scream, but it's a different story arc. It's now her cousin, who Jill in this movie, spoiler alert, we're going to be watching it, who becomes the, the person who's envy and jealous of Sydney and wants that notoriety. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm getting a new story. I'm not rehashing the Maureen Prescott story anymore that I've seen in 3 films now. You know what, do you know what I mean?
I get you. I totally get you. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hey, a couple super chats came in. Todd Fair kicking things off really quickly. I'll just answer these quickly. Todd, thank you very much, buddy. Sends in a super chat. Says, hey, Dave, you should do a video about Deborah Hill. She was co-creator of Halloween. If not for her, no Halloween or Michael Myers. Well, I would say that, yes, she's definitely a big part of the success of that movie. She does not get enough credit for sure. I would not necessarily say that Halloween would not exist because John Carpenter wrote the script. She wrote the dialogue for the women.
Girls.
Right. Yes. The girls. That's right. But John Carpenter created sort of the foundation of the character of Michael and wrote all the lines for Loomis and the backstory and all that kind of stuff. But you could even go a step further and say that if John Carpenter was not involved, Halloween still may have existed, because the real sort of pioneer was Irwin Yablans, who on a flight home from, at least I think this is what he told me, on a flight home from either to Paris or from Paris or something like that. He was going to Europe, I believe, either to or from. He came up with the idea of doing a low budget horror movie that had to do with babysitters. And you know what? Since Halloween is a cool, well, you know what? We set it on Halloween and blah. So now it may not have ended up being the Halloween that we know, right? And that's an important distinction to make. But would there have been a Halloween horror movie without Carpenter or Hill? Probably, but it may not have been the success that that it was. It may not have we so most certainly probably would not have had Michael Myers, right? But it would have been another variation of. So it's a good point you bring up. She certainly is very important, and I also think it's just as important to remember that I think one of the main reasons why she is sort of forgotten about, not forgotten, but kind of, people don't really talk about her so much anymore, is that she did die 15 years ago. And when she died in 2005, really we have the conventions and to really thank for keeping these people in the pop culture consciousness. And although conventions existed in 2005, certainly social media was in its infancy, and the internet was still kind of becoming its real realizing its full potential. And I think if Deborah Hill had been around today, I think she would be receiving just as much love as Carpenter and Curtis and Nick Castle and everybody. But unfortunately, she passed away just before that kind of thing really took off. And one more super chat from Todd. He says, "Hey, Dave and Tony, you guys should do a video on the Omen franchise." I don't know if we'll do the franchise, but we'll definitely probably do the first Omen. Because that was
Gregory
good.
Gregory
Peck,
By
ladies
the way,
and gentlemen.
we're getting lit up with a really heavy rainstorm. I hope that's not coming through. Can you hear it at all?
I can't hear it. No.
Okay, because it's really that's why I keep looking up and looking over, because it's coming down. Georgia, we're Seattle. We're no longer Georgia. We're Seattle now.
Right. Okay. Well, if you get cut off and I lose you, then we'll try and reconnect.
You guys ready to get disappointed? Very, very disappointed. I got a little voice box here. You want to know what it really freaking sounds like?
Wow.
Like, for real? This is what it really, this is bad. Like, it's real. I don't even know if this is going to work.
Yeah, all right.
Hello, Sydney. Did it even work?
Take it back from the mic a little bit and do it. So we don't hear you in the pro?
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is working. It's so bad. It's so bad. That's what it really sounds like.
Yeah, well, it's because obviously they didn't really use one.
No, I know. But it's just like when you get it, you're like, yeah, I got it. And then you use it, you're like, this
doesn't sound like the guy.
It's so bad. It's like, it was like, oh, what a letdown.
That's right. All right, folks, if you want to watch Scream 4 with us, we are paused at about the 2-second mark, just as the Dimension Films logo is about to come onto the screen. It's not on there yet. You just kind of see the beginning of it, and then we paused it. That's where we are. So we'll give you a couple seconds to pause it there if you're going to watch with us on Blu-ray or, I don't know, on Blu-ray or DVD.
Missed the VHS.
Yeah, I don't think this was ever released on VHS. No. Has the Scream franchise been released on 4K yet? I don't know. Has it?
Yeah, digitally, because I'm watching it in
digitally.
4K tonight.
Okay, cool.
Digitally, 4K.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go, folks. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right.
Oh, I love the self-awareness of the beginning of this film. I forget it all the time, and how it's like Scream 6, Scream 7, Stab 7, Stab 10, Stab, like, and it's funny because it coincides with your post I saw on the Invisible Woman or Man. Yeah.
Man, yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's exactly what happens. Yeah. And this is basically Wes saying, stop fucking remaking movies and making sequels.
It's funny. Well, I made that post, right? It's satire. I'm
totally
being
satire.
Like satirical. And then you get, the odd person. Oh, you get the odd person that's like, "Oh, you fucking hate it sucks." I said, I never said it sucked.
Wow,
I said, I didn't say it sucked. I said, I'm making
nowhere in that poster that says
nowhere in that poster did I say The Invisible Man sucked. In fact, at the very top, I said it's getting great reviews from both fans and critics. I've yet to see it, so that makes me excited to see it, especially a horror movie, because most horror movies do suck. So when I hear something's getting really good, positive feedback, I'm excited for it. I just, made this post about how, well, if it's really good, you know what that means. Of course, everybody's like, "Oh, you make funny with."
You're the devil, Dave.
Oh, I am the devil. I'm the devil. The internet is mad, folks. Hey, and Kristen Bell is in the opening of this film as well. She plays before she was kind of known, but right before she became Kristen Bell. It's Kristen or yeah, it's Kristen. I don't think it's Kirsten.
Yeah, isn't she married to Dak Shepard?
She is. Yeah. Yes, she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't have to be a bitch about it. I'm gonna cut to your fucking neck, I'm gonna cut to your fucking little bitch, you fucking.
Tom Ungreen, I think I pronounced that wrong. Nev is the best final girl of all time. I concur. She is my favorite final girl as well too. I think that there's a distinct definition to a final girl. To me, I define a final girl as like Nev and Heather Langenkamp and Amy Steele. I didn't count Jamie Lee until H2O, because I think to me a final girl is someone who fights back against the adversity that they're facing in that moment. Right. Laurie didn't do that in the original Halloween. She didn't really do that until H2O. I'm trying to think.
True.
Is there a moment in 2 that I'm not thinking of? So to me, that's how I define a final girl. And to me, I think Nev is the top, because she's going toe to toe with the killer in every single one of the films.
Right. Yeah, she is. Yeah, it's that Canadian fight.
Canadian women, man, they breed them right up there.
They do. Where was she? Was she born in Toronto? Or was she born here? Nev Campbell. I also forget where she was born. She was born in Guelph, Ontario. That's like, an hour from here. Small city, just about an hour from here.
You know, I was watching. We were talking about you the other day because I was telling my buddy how you're a Sabres fan because we were watching a doc on Guy Lafleur.
Okay.
And I was telling him how I saw Guy play in Hartford when the Whalers were still there. And I told him, I was like, I haven't really been a hockey fan since the Whalers left Hartford, because it's really hard to find a new team and root for a team when I was a fan of one team for like 16 years of my life.
Absolutely.
Like, could you not root for the Sabres if the Sabres like left and became another team?
Oh, if the Sabres left and became another team, it would be hard to root for them. Yes, because it's not the Buffalo Sabres anymore.
Exactly. So
Yeah. Just got stabbed. Here it is. Come here, bitch. Oh, yeah, bitch. What do you think of that? You motherfucker. Great practice. Yeah, take that. And you realize it's just a movie.
DMT Infinity. Yes, man. I just did the other day. I posted a Scream Ghostface photo. I do have a series of Ghostface pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, your Ghostface pictures are fantastic.
Dope. Yeah, my Ghostface and my Michael pictures are getting a lot better.
Yes. You know what's funny is that I love how the opening of the movie, Stab 6, it's two brunettes. Now it's two blondes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so self-aware. It brings you back to the original Scream. That's what, and Wes's, if you really are understanding Wes's message here, stop making so many damn sequels. Stop rebooting shit. Like Nev says the line at the end of the movie, if you're going to, don't fuck with the original. You know what I mean? Like something like that. I'm paraphrasing it right now. But, and that's Wes's message here. And like you, I agree with him. I mean, yes, it is inevitable. You're going to get sequels in movies when a movie is good, like you said in The Invisible Man. Sure. But it does eventually become watered down. There's only so far you can go into the well. I love this.
There's just, I know,
Kristen Bell just teased off on her.
Oh, what do you think of that bitch?
I don't know this chick's name. I just call her Storm or Rogue. She's Rogue from X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but she's. I just see her like Rogue.
That's great.
Just give me that Southern accent.
The very first movie I ever saw Kristen Bell in was Fanboys, that Star Wars movie, Fanboys. She was a brunette in that movie, though. It's the first time I ever saw her. Stab 7. And I love how here you go again.
Yep. Now isn't that Chloe Moretz? Is that her name?
I don't know. I'll take your word for it.
The girl, not the girl with the orange top, but
the other one.
The girl with the kind of sweater. Something I don't know.
Could
like
be.
I don't know these young girls. I mean, I'm sure the younger generation's like, how can you not know them? I'm too old. I don't follow kids that are 20 years younger than me.
Yeah, I don't know who they are. Of course, these girls are probably 30 now.
True, because this movie is true.
Almost 10 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think Kristen Bell's in her 30s, her late 30s actually. She usually plays younger than what she is. What was I gonna say? I do like how they continued. Like, I do like that what Wes Craven did is that, in Scream 4, we do also see the evolution of Stab.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, we're at Stab 7 now, whereas we weren't there yet in part 3, you know what I mean?
We were at part 3. We were at 3.
I like that he's mocking that. He's making fun of that. I think like the whole point of my Invisible Man post the other day was basically saying that there's a high level of predictability when it comes to this. And that's what's just, it's just funny to me. I'm glad that the Invisible, now I've yet to see it, but I'm glad it's getting great reviews. I'm glad that the feedback has been great. They'll likely continue it, and that's always good. It's good for horror. It's good for movies. But there's a high level of predictability when this happens, is that Lee Winnell will likely come back for the sequel, but he won't come back for the third one, and the third one won't be as good as the second one, and then there'll be talk of a Netflix series, and then that won't come to fruition, and then they'll make a part 4 which will really bomb, and then they'll and it's just we see this pattern a lot. Sure. You know what I mean? And that's the satirical nature of the post, is that there's probably a good level of if I was a betting guy, that's probably a good bet. It's just funny to me. Somebody falls for it every year, bitch. Anthony Bazzuto says, Tony, for Scream 5, do you think they will turn one of the main characters on Sydney? Well, here's the question. Is Scream 5 going to be a reboot, a complete remake, or a continuation?
We don't know at this point.
We'd have no idea.
Devil's advocate for the moment. If they reboot it, it's going to flop. Really the only reboot out there or remake has been Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And you can honestly remake Texas Chainsaw Massacre 100 million times and it's fine, because it's one of those movies that you can remake it and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that as a diss. It's just one of those movies you can go to the well and do as many times as you want if there's enough
Right.
gaps in between the remakes. When you get to like Rob Zombie's Halloween, okay, the first one was okay. It's watchable.
Right.
It's a watchable movie. But once you get to Friday the 13th and Nightmare, it becomes a shit show, and it's crap. And what Wes Craven did in the original Scream, you are not going to catch that again. You're not going to get the same audience reaction of like, holy shit, you just killed Drew Barrymore. Are you fucking kidding me? You're not going to get that. We know the game. You know what I mean? So they would have to come up with something so original.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Yeah,
what? You know what I mean? Like, what can you do?
I don't know. But if they were to not continue it and reboot it, you would have to, and it's something that I'm not really a big fan of, because then it becomes almost a shell of itself. It's not really Scream. It is essentially, but you completely reinvent for today's audiences. But if the movie is really smart and really well done, and the story's really cool and sexy and, you know, twisted and turns, and it can stand on its own as a pretty good, you know, reboot remake, that's all you can hope for. But you know, unfortunately, the problem with something like Scream, and I say it's a problem, but every horror franchise is faced with it, but Scream maybe more quickly than others, is the gimmick. You know, you've heard me say this, the shtick that makes Scream work has a very short shelf life. You know, once you know how the magic trick is done, the novelty wears off very fast. And then there's a high level of, oh, come on. Like, I remember by, you know, Scream 3, I was like, oh, no, so now it's the mom and the this and the and the brother we never heard about. And like, you have to keep reaching in order to justify it. And you eventually do have to do that with horror sequels anyway. But Scream, because of its fourth wall sort of self-aware spoofy shtick, it feels like it reaches that threshold sooner. And now if you were to do a Scream 5, it's like, what are we doing? Like, he's back again? You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. If they never did a Scream 2 or 3 and this was a direct sequel, wouldn't this be a nice a 1-2 punch with the first Scream and this? Because when I watch it and I omit those two other films, it's a good 1-2 punch movie. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to, I'm not as familiar with this movie as I am the others. Okay. So like, again, I'm only seeing this right now on my screen the second time in my life. So I would have to watch it again and really kind of feel, but I'll take your word for it, because sometimes that is possible. Like that can happen. But because what ends up happening is that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when you wait many years to make, and it can backfire on you as well, but sometimes when you wait a while and you revisit it, you come at it with fresh eyes, and you come at it with a new sense of energy and a new sense of freshness to it, that if you were to omit something and you just look at the first one and the one that was made, you know, 10 years later, it somehow does actually kind of work better than some of the direct sequels, right? Because the direct sequels were made so close together, and it was so, you know, there's so many different reasons why, and then you know, it wears thin and yada yada. But yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. It's hard to believe that this movie here is almost as far removed from, or like it's hard to believe that we're as far removed from this movie as this movie is from the third movie. It's kind of it's crazy to think.
Time flies when you're having fun.
But I would be okay if they said we're never making another Scream. I'd be okay with it. I would, because I just kind of think that, you know, I mean, if they're going to bring the band back together again, okay. Like, I'm totally okay. But what are you going to do? Like, I mean, what are you going to do that isn't going to feel like, oh, they're just utilized? Like, I don't want to see a bunch of, you know, hey, boomers, you know, trying to be cool with the hip you know, the hip technology, or, you know, and because you got to bring it into the 20, like you have to utilize that's what they would do. They would utilize social media, the technology that exists today. You'd have to.
Hold on. Let's just pause for a moment. There she is. This is like my definitive woman right here. Hayden, short hair, blonde, sass, a lot of ass. She's beautiful.
The blonde one?
She is beautiful. Hayden. Hey, oh yeah. Hayden. Kirby. Like, that is like my definitive like dream woman.
Yeah, she is. She's very attractive. They're all good looking. They're all attractive. You never call me that.
Nice thing I say that because she's close to our age, so I don't feel weird saying that.
Right. That's right. Toronto Freddy says, what's your favorite scary movie? My favorite scary movie. I don't know. I like the psychological, like the films that actually scare me, the ones that really get into your head, for sure.
Well, I mean, if we're ranking,
like The Shining, the original, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
I think like things that really get into your psyche.
Yeah, I like The Exorcist, and then Halloween.
Oh yeah, Halloween's up there. Black Christmas is up there. For me.
The third Scream. The original Scream is my fourth favorite scary movie of all time.
Oh, really interesting.
Yeah, the original Scream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Three is like, I love Friday the 13th Part 2.
What's your favorite scary?
They did a good job too with I forget the girl's name who plays Jill in this movie, but finding a girl who has a very similar look to Neve Campbell, especially Neve when she was younger. So you can see that there's a family. They look like they could. Well,
she has a very sort of.
I'm drawing a blank on her. Damn.
Girl Next Door. I'm
trying not to cheat and look it up, but I'm going to.
It's the Girl Next Door look. What was I going to say? Can you imagine if in the if they make a Scream 5 and this is what it is?
Emma Roberts. Thanks, guys.
Emma Roberts. Oh, that's Emma Roberts? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Younger, 10 years ago. I think of 10 years ago almost.
Hello?
Okay, not the Emma Roberts you're thinking. Not the Emma Roberts. No,
I'm not thinking of the redhead. No.
The Harry Potter Emma Roberts. Yeah, I think is her name.
No, that's Emma Watson.
Stone.
Emma Watson.
I don't know. There's too many fucking Emmas.
Are you thinking of Emma Stone? No. I was thinking of Emma Stone. What about this? This is how it is. This is Scream 5. Hello?
Hey man. What's your favorite scare movie, eh? Come on now, fucking tell me.
I don't know. What's yours?
Yeah, fuck you, man. You tell me your fucking scary movie, man.
Can I pitch you my idea? My sort of kind of idea of what they should do for Scream. Yeah, she's good looking. For Scream 5?
Sure, go ahead. Pitch it. Scream 5. Let's go.
It's not a full story, but how I would actually do it just so that you could do 2 movies to have a trilogy for 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
End it on a cliffhanger. No Scream has ever done that, leaving it on a cliffhanger that gives you the possibility of 3 killers. We as the audience interpret as it could be this person, or this person. In order for us to find out, we got to go and see part 6. So you're doing 2 movies because the one thing that, if they were to do, let's just say they were to do 5 and like a possibility of a 6, because if it does well, there's always that possibility, right?
Right.
So if you go into it with the possibility that you hope it does well, it becomes successful, that you might do a 6th one, why end it the same way the 4 other films have done with revealing who the killer is and the big surprise? Why not cliffhanger it, keep the audience going, fuck, well, now we got to go see part 6. So it would be changing the formula up a little bit, doing something new, giving the audience something new without repeating the same thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like an interesting idea for me. I mean, I'd have to.
I didn't think it thoroughly. I was just thinking of how could they do a cool ending that's something different?
Start from there and sort of, flesh it out a bit more. But I mean, I'm always open to it. I like ideas and I like good ideas. And I just can't help but think that the Scream sort of formulas run thin. And I think that if there was a Scream 5...
Well, that's what I mean. I think if you had a cliffhanger ending with a guess who's done it, who is the killer,
right?
That would be refreshing. It would be something new. It's something that
new.
We haven't seen.
It's definitely different. Definitely different.
God, webcam. This is literally this is like when YouTube started to become a thing and people were streaming. This is the infancy of it. And I'm glad they
think of this.
Into.
Okay, guys, just remember this. Okay, just remember this. This movie was shot probably in 2010, came out in 2011. It was not uncommon. As a matter of fact, it was very, very common to upload videos at 480p to YouTube. And 720p was like, whoa,
oh my God,
this is amazing. Shit. 720p. I look at my videos on my channel from 2010 and 2011, and they're like 720p, 480p. Like, and that's like, whoa, they fought. Like, this is not that long ago. This is 9 years ago. I mean, just think about that. So, I mean, you know,
dude, my first digital camera is over there, 1 megapixel. I remember when everyone was like, 1 megapixel.
I remember
when we got to 12 and 8, and everyone was like, holy shit, 8 megapixels. This is amazing.
Now
I'm like at 100
30
billion.
Yeah, exactly. My first digital camera was a Fuji, and it was 4 megapixels. Todd Fair sends a super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, hey, Dave and Tony, who would be the best director for a Scream reboot? I don't know.
Me.
I have no idea. Yes, that's right. I have no idea. I think it comes the first things first is a good story, but it's got to be a story that doesn't feel, you know, is there more to tell? I mean, can you tell a story in the Scream world and make it feel fresh? That's what's so important with these same characters. Look, you can reboot it and remake it and start from scratch, pretending as if it's never been made before, and bring it into the world we live in today with social media and apps, and which they did here a little bit. But I mean, like really now, like really into 2020, not 2011 480p world. I'm talking about 2020, you know, 4K world and all different kinds of apps that I haven't even fucking heard of. I mean, I swear to God, my age is, you know, there's all these apps. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What the hell is this app? And FaceTime and shit. I know that's been out for a while, but all these apps, I don't know.
Dude, I have one social media, Instagram. That's it.
There's so many things now, and like I didn't even know what Twitch was until like 6 months ago. I'm like, what the hell is a Twitch? A Twitch to me is somebody going, Dave, are you okay? I got a Twitch
in right now.
I mean, that's what it is. That's, you know, so I'm just like, what the hell is Twitch? Like, so, I mean, and I'm not saying that you would utilize Twitch for, I mean, obviously it's a, you know, gaming thing, but I'm just saying there's so many things now that, you know, if you were to reboot it, you know, you actually may be more believable, actually. But I don't know. I mean, all I care about is a good story that feels organic. It doesn't feel like we're just doing the same thing over again, you know, and the killer's back, and this time it isn't her cousin, it's her cousin's cousin. And, you know, I mean,
there's another key component that I think is very vital to, if you, let's say you're continuing Sydney's story and using Nev, you know, to come back for a 5th one and whatever, a 6th one,
right.
5, we'll just say 5. The other key thing is whoever the director is, study Wes Craven's work, look at Wes's work, put your own spin on it. But as a viewer, I want to still feel Wes's presence, even though I know Wes did not direct the film. You can still have his presence felt. I get a lot of comments like that on my Michael Myers pictures, that even though it's not Dean Cundy and John Carpenter framing and taking a photograph, I give the people on Instagram that vibe. And then there's sometimes I put my own spin on it and do my own style as well too. But I always keep in my mind Carpenter and Cundy. How would they frame the shot and present Michael in this scene? Always there. So whoever takes on the reins, watch Last House on the Left, watch Nightmare on Elm Street, watch The Screams, you know, and all of Wes's work. I'm not saying copy Wes beat for beat, but give Wes's flavor splashed in with your own stylistic approach. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. There's definitely a style, you know, and you know
when you're watching a Wes Craven movie, more or less, you know, when you watch all his filmography, there's a style there. There's a Wes Craven style.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach Axiola says, the Rise of Skywalker novelization revealed that Palpatine was a clone. This takes away from the mystery of his return. It's like Michael Myers. You shouldn't reveal anything.
That was the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, I think it's, because the novelization says one thing, and then the official Rise of Skywalker encyclopedia says something else, and then the movie says something else. I just think
I think those idiots are drunk over there at Disney and don't know what the hell they're doing.
I think they are completely drunk over there. They're just on crack, and somebody needs to be slapped in the ass. What? I don't know what the hell that means.
That's not the way you get people to buy merchandise.
Good night, everybody. Good night. It's a joke, people. It's a joke.
Can't say jokes in 2020, Dave. How many times I got to tell you? You're going to piss people off.
No, you're right. You're right. I am. Just a joke, folks. Atomic Beauty says, I think Jordan Peele will be a great director for Scream 5. I don't know. Jordan Peele, because you have to, maybe, right? But first things first, it's a good story.
Right.
But Jordan Peele does serious psychological horror. Scream isn't serious. Scream is satire. It's spoofy. It's self-aware.
Yeah, you can't go dark all of a sudden with this because everyone would be like, "What the fuck?"
Right. Like you can't get too serious with it. Right. You know what I mean? It's more satire than anything else. I don't know if it would attract Jordan. But then again, if they don't continue the story, you may see them try to revitalize it and reinvent it.
Just give me and Dave a call. We got your back.
There you go. Spyglass. Spyglass.
Is it
the
right?
Filmatic.
Who's got the rights right now? Right? Spyglass?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
The Filmatic says, hey, Dave and Tony, do you think Jack Nicholson will act again like how Joe Pesci did? Also, will Nicholson film from his later years? What film is it?
He's going to. I think he's done. He doesn't need to. He's got a great career.
I think my favorite of his from his later years, which is one he was part of an ensemble, would have been the remake of The Departed.
Oh, he was great in The Departed, playing Whitey Blanchard, a version of Whitey.
Yeah, he was fantastic in that. I don't think so. You might see him pop up somewhere, but he's in his 80s now or something. He's been there, done that.
Yeah, he could pop up at some point, but
yeah. Maybe I'll reach out to his agent and try to get him as Billy.
Imagine hearing that on the other end.
Can you imagine seeing him there? Trick or treat. Of course, it's not Halloween. Jack, it's Christmas. Oh, shit.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
that'd be funny. So we are, where are we here? We are 25 minutes and 10 seconds into the movie.
Sydney and
they're sitting around the table. Talking with the girls here. Isn't the blonde there? Isn't she in on it? I think she is.
Kirby?
Yeah.
No, she's not in it.
Oh.
Yeah, they do a good twist in this movie. That's why I like this better than part 2, because their turn that they do at the end it's a really good turn. It's not forced. It's okay. Didn't see it coming and real good. It executed very well.
Right. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. Henry.
It's amazing to watch movies that were done in the time frame of how movie making has changed dramatically. You know what I mean? Like this was on the brink of the 2012 I'm offended by everything and everything became PC. You know what I mean? Like Scream 4 falls within that line of just before everything shifted and changed in Hollywood. Right. So that's the other thing. I'm curious to see how their approach to Scream 5 would be. Would they take a PC approach? Because that's the thing to do,
Yeah,
get
it's
woke.
It's a very good point.
It's a very good point. This was, 1 year before all of that really became, in the forefront of, the everyday life, and being woke and whatever. I don't even know what being woke is, but whatever, I just know that's a word. And
it means woke to the PC culture and doing things
I get like how the word is being used.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Manner, but you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah. Like even when you heard the music there, when the two girls were talking, it's very sort of tongue in cheek. Boom, 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 boom. What's
her name? Who plays Jill's mom? Sydney's mom's sister.
I can't remember. She doesn't look familiar.
I can't remember her name, but I've seen her in other shit.
Striker87 says, I had an easier time believing these kids are high schoolers than the ones in the original.
For sure. They were about that. Well, no, Hayden was in her early 20s, but she's so youthful looking that she could totally pass for like a late teen. Well,
most of the time, they're not in high school. They're not high school age. Most actors playing look, there are actors that can be 30 playing, 22. You know what I mean? It depends, but yeah, no, it usually isn't. Look at high school kids today. Drive by your local high school and take a look at the kids.
I could be wrong because she was born August 21st, 1989. So she's 30 right now. She's turning 31 this year, which means she would have been in this movie. She would have been 18, 19 years old.
The brunette here?
No, my girl, the short hair girl.
Oh, she really?
Yeah. Well, it's in 1989, and this movie came out 2011. So no, that would have made her what, 21?
21.
20.
She looks older.
Yeah, she does. She looks mature. That's not a bad thing. She looks like she's in her mid 20s because of the way she's presented herself and her character.
Her haircut does it too. Yeah. Fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. The False Prophet says Danielle Harris could still play a high schooler today. No, I don't think so. She looks good for her age, but I wouldn't believe that she was in high school. I wouldn't believe that. I mean, she's 40. What is she? 43? Something like that. So only a couple years older than us. She looks good for her age. I'm not saying she looks bad, but I don't think she looks like she's in high school. She doesn't look like she's 18 or 17 or something like that. There's just no way.
Click. Tony, I didn't realize that 2013 was the year PC woke culture blossomed. Yeah, it was about 2012. If you were younger, you probably wouldn't have paid attention. And if you were younger, you also grew up in it. So for you, it's more natural. For people like me and Dave, who were older at the time and were watching this shift and change, it's more noticeable for us. But when you're a young person growing up in it, to you, it's normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus to us. To us, it's a lot different.
This brunette here playing, was that her cousin or whatever?
Emma Roberts.
How old? That's right, Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts. How old is she? Here, let me just check here. How old is she in real life?
It's got to be close to.
Let me see. She was born in 91, so she's 20 here.
So yeah, she's 19.
19, 20. She's 29 in real life right now.
So she would have been about 19.
Yeah, so they casted proportionately correct.
They did. So she's pretty much, she still could be a senior in high school. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, not that seniors, I mean, there are some seniors who are 19, but so yeah, you're right. They definitely, with Kirby and Jill and the other friend who gets it here shortly, they did a really good job at making, you believe that these were high school kids.
Mm-hmm. I do like how the what's-her-face here, the cop, was in shadow there. And she's still in shadow as Nev Campbell continues to talk to her. Just the way and then she comes into the light. It's this natural way of she's in shadow, she walks to the stairs and she walks back, talking to Nev, really giving you, what Wes is doing is planting the seed of doubt in your mind. It's very subtle. There's nothing particularly overly creepy that's going on, but it's just the way that she's lit and the way and where and now she's like, okay, cool, and she leaves. You know what I mean? But it's subtle, but it's nice. And there's no doubt in my mind, that people watching this for the first time would go, I think she did it. And it's because of scenes like that. Frank Riker sends us a super chat. Thank you, Frank. Says, D&T had brunch with Tom Atkins today.
Tommy!
And he said Michael Myers has a Walkman under his mask, but he doesn't know what he's listening to. What do you think? My money is on the joy of cooking. I think he's listening to it's an MP3 player. No, it's not a Walkman. It's a cell phone. He's listening to Bob Ross painting. That's what I think it is. Bob Ross.
I think he's listening to Shirley Temple's Good Ship Lollipop.
Yes. Or what about Pink Shoelaces? What's her name? The Pink Shoelaces girl. Oh God, I forgot her name now. Maybe he's listening to that.
Oh yeah, picture that. Michael Myers listening to the Good Ship Lollipop.
That's right. That'd be funny. That would be funny.
Really would make him fucked up in the head, though. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Macca525 says Sydney should be the killer in Scream 5, just so they can finish the franchise 3 to 4. Great. Wouldn't that be something, though? Woo!
I mean, it would be a twist that I don't.
Woo!
You would have to have a really good why justification to make that turn.
Oh yeah,
a real good, like something that where the audience is like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, not saying no to like totally shut it out, but it's got to be a good enough turn for the audience to go, yes. You can't half-ass it. Like, I don't want some Sartain bullshit.
Right.
Okay.
Right. No. Exactly. You don't. You don't want any Sartain bullshit. Of course, we have to have a bikini scene. Or a bra scene. Is that a bra or a bikini? Bra, I guess. Is it bra?
Very
Yeah,
bright
it's bra.
yellow bra.
Very bright yellow
Of course
bra.
you
Looks like
do.
it looks like it
Nudity
glows in the
horror
dark.
Movies, they go together like peanut butter and fluff.
Bras in horror movies go to. That's true. That's true. What horror movie?
In horror movies.
Horror movies.
Go together like peanut butter.
Well, there
and
won't be
fluff.
one in It's Me, Billy. There's no nude scene in It's Me, Billy. Sorry, folks.
Oh man.
All right, I'll just write one in. No. Let me see here. Colin Murdy says Myers listens to Born This Way by Gaga. Probably does. I was born this way. Lady Gaga, folks. Lady
Again, could you imagine if someone just tuned in?
That's right. Just tuned in right now. Hey, let's see what's going on Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. And they turn it off at that moment too. It's like, wow.
Okay.
What the hell? And you're sitting back there going, la, 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 la. That was a large man in that photo.
I also love the fact how they wrote Kirby's character, Hayden's character. Kirby is the character she's playing, to be a very knowledgeable horror fan. That also makes her very sexy.
And you say that she's not involved in this thing, right? Okay, because I remember when I was watching this for the first time a couple years ago, I actually thought she might have been.
Yeah, no, unfortunately.
Now there's certain moments
happening to her, I'm not happy with.
I think I know why you like this Kirby. Now in this lighting right here, and from a certain angle, at certain moments, she totally looks like she could be a younger, shorter blonde Danielle Harris.
Oh, totally. See, totally. I mean, it's totally there.
Yep, it's totally there. It's there, folks.
If I'm not anything, I am consistent.
Man, that was close. That was close. I thought I was going to come out of the closet there. That was close. Robert Kitzmiller says, I think I've solved the Danielle Harris conundrum. You introduce a new female character whose name is Danielle Harris and H kills, but it's not actually Danielle Harris. Now that would be a real slap in the face. That'd be funny. Oh no! Yeah, come here, you fucking bitch. Get her! Yeah, come on, you fucking. Oh yeah!
Bad.
Yeah.
The gag knife. They didn't cut it properly. It was the gag knife, and I caught that when he stabs it on the dresser. Yeah.
How do you know?
I've seen it enough to where I've dissected it from the videography point of view, and I saw that it was the gag knife. It wasn't.
Yeah.
They should have done the real knife so that it looked more realistic in the stabbing of the dresser.
I'd have to watch that part again.
Because the knife kind of bends really quickly. If you go back and watch it, you'll see it kind of jerks a little bit.
Okay. All right. That's a lot of blood. I think he should have just thrown her out the window. Oh, he does. Good.
Oh, yeah. Wes is like, more blood.
Yeah,
more blood.
Fucking just
I need more blood.
Imagine he rips off the mask. He's like, what do you think of that, Sydney? What do you think of that? I'm back. Hello, Sydney. I'm going to tear you apart.
You know what I will say this, regardless of my opinion of Scream 2, which I don't dislike Scream 2. It's my third favorite, and I can watch Scream 2. I can't it's hard for me to watch Scream 3.
That's a lot of blood.
Oh, it's totally a throwback to the original Nightmare.
Yeah, that's almost an unrealistic amount of blood. Because when you look at it,
Wes like more blood.
Yeah,
what I was going to say about Nev is she hung in there. She never bailed out on the series, so we never got a different Sydney. We never had to write out her character.
That's true.
She has, she's stayed with this character, through thick and thin, good films, bad films, whatever. And you got to respect that. She never left the franchise. Whereas you can't say that about none of them. That's why I put her a cut above the rest of these queens or final girls out there. She really stuck with the franchising and she shows up to these conventions. Not saying that the other people don't, but that says a lot. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Robbie Kozel, a gag knife. Okay, so like for example, pull out the OG screen used. Don't know which scene. Hero knife from Scream. So like this knife from Scream, like that's probably close to Nev right now. That's fake. That is, you can tell by the glare that it has more of an aluminum type glow when it's this close to her. When it's further away and the killer's holding it like this is real. This is a real knife that they're using. Whenever they get close like that, like you saw when Nev was holding it away from her, Sometimes if it's like a real still shot where there's not a lot of movement, they will use a real knife. But in that case, I can totally tell. I could see the aluminum, and that's a gag knife. So a gag knife means what it is. It's a gag knife. It's not going to hurt anyone. No one's going to get cut. No one's going to get killed. And
right.
I call it gag knives. I knew right off the bat this dude wasn't. Even though they were trying to paint this dude to be kind of the next Billy Loomis, I knew right from the start it wasn't him.
Right. Wait a minute, I thought. Oh, okay. Who the fuck? Wait a minute. Who died upstairs?
The girl in the red. Red. The
bikini top.
Bikini top.
That was an enormous amount of blood. That was just.
I'm sure that was. I mean, again, maybe that was Wes just being satire. You know, like ordering more blood. You know.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah. No, I'm not knocking it. I just think it's just like, wow, that's a lot of blood. For sure.
I always forget Anthony Mackie's in this this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his name, right, Anthony Mackie. I like him. He's funny.
Yeah. Yes, indeedy. Hello, Sydney Prescott. There was a pub in Ottawa, Ontario, where I used to live called the Prescott.
Oh, okay.
I think anyway, or maybe I think it was Prescott. Who the fuck knows now? Any other police force, this Dewey guy would be like fired.
For sure. But you gotta love David Arquette. He's good shit.
Yeah, for sure. And did he get himself into like wrestling recently or something? He's like
shit. Like he did it for real. Like he didn't half-ass it. He really
like full on
got into it and he did it. Give him respect for doing that, man.
Yeah.
You're putting your body through some shit by doing that.
Let the bodies hit the floor on that one. Webcasting live.
That was the infancy of all this.
It was. Well, look at Halloween Resurrection, which is like 9 years before this movie. And
that was like reality TV.
Yes.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's the only thing I don't like is when horror movie. Now, Scream 4 didn't do it really, but is when you use technology as part of your narrative to move your narrative forward. This doesn't do that. This is just a little. He's just. It's part of his character, but.
That's Culkin's cousin, I think, right?
It is. Yeah, or cousin or brother. Yeah, one of the two. Is it Rory? Or?
Well, he's definitely related. You can totally see it.
Oh, 100%.
I just can't remember how they're related, if it's their cousins or if they're...
Is it Ralph?
Brothers. I don't know. I mean, the Culkin parents, man, they cranked out an army of kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Robert Fat Stacks Malone right here. I'm Oh my goodness.
Good times.
We are 41 minutes and 15 seconds into the movie. Courtney Cox is eyeing Ralph. That guy there, the movie guy, the webcam guy, looks like he could be the son of what's his face from the other Scream movies.
It's his brother. Thanks, Macca. That's his brother. I'm waiting to see who was in the chat room going to confirm the relations there with him. I don't know. With Courtney Cox, the only thing with Courtney Cox I can never get out of my head is, I know!
Right.
Monica. Yeah. That was like her big line with Monica. I know! I can never get that shit out of my head.
Okay.
If you're a fan of Friends, you know the reference.
The kid with the webcam, he looks like he could be the son of, is it Liev Schreiber from the other Scream movies? He literally looks like he could be his son.
Yeah, good.
He looks like he could be his son. Does he not? I think he does. Holy shit, does he ever? Sydney, come here. I need to talk to you right now, Sydney. Use the Force, Sydney. Use the fucking Force. Is that Emma Roberts talking there?
No, that's her.
No, that's
assistant
her
talking to
assistant.
Sid.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, gee, she looks older all of a sudden. Chastity Smith says, anyone see the trailer? Robert the Bruce sequel to Braveheart looks pretty good. No, I didn't even sequel to Braveheart. Really? Never even heard of it. Never even heard of it. Jim Dorsey says Courtney Cox was beautiful pre-Friends days, late 80s, early 90s. She was.
Here, but sorry.
What about in Masters of the Universe?
Well, she also danced in Bruce Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark video. That was her real big breakout. Like, who is this girl? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was good.
She looked great in that too. She's doing that.
Dancing in the dark.
Yeah, Ace Ventura, Toronto Freddy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
She's
Ace Ventura,
really
Pet Detective.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, that was a year before Friends. Yep. I first saw her in Masters of the Universe, 1987. What a shit.
Me with Friends, I grew into Friends actually after it was done. I didn't watch it, and it's like I knew about it, I heard of it, you know, could not hear of it. I wasn't a fan during its initial airing. I became a fan of the show after it aired.
You want to know something? To this day, I am still not a Friends fan. Now, when I say I don't mean that I don't like the show or anything. It's one of those shows I've maybe seen 2 or 3 episodes from start to finish.
Sure.
And I know about it. I know who everybody is. I know, you know, the coffee shop, the perk or whatever it is. And you know, all those things. I know that, you know, Ross and Rachel eventually got together, because it's pop culture. But I was a show that I never cared about. I just never got into it. I don't know. Just never got into it. It's one of those shows.
My favorite show of all time, but it was something I was like, okay, this is, you know, it was probably about, I want to say close to 10 years after the show ended.
Right.
Ended is when I actually tuned in and started to watch it.
Right.
It's not like, for me, it's not like, you know, like Cheers is my all-time favorite show, and Frasier is up there in my top favorites as well.
Frasier's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a fan of like old school television, you know, Cheers, All in the Family, Jefferson. I love that shit, you know. Maude, who B. Arthur.
And then there's Maude. Frank Riker super chat says, Dave, can you do an impression of Myers answering the phone of Liam Neeson from Taken? That would be
because Myers, we'd be sitting here silent for about a minute.
Myers is silent. It'd be like, what does he say? He's like, I will find you and I will kill you. Myers is going, why are you breathing like that?
What are you doing?
I don't want to have phone sex. I just want to tell you that I will kill you. Bring it on.
What about Miami Vice? I never know. My mom was really into Miami Vice. Shows from the 80s beyond Cheers that I liked were like Airwolf. I actually had the Airwolf.
Airwolf. I remember you saying that. I remember you saying you were a big Airwolf fan.
Trying to think. I didn't do much cartoons. I did pretty much the popular, like all the popular 80s shows.
Right.
Family Ties, Growing Pains, Roseanne.
So this here is a good little bit of suspense. You know, I mean, nothing. It's just, you know, it's your standard sort of. But this is, you know, a nice little moment of suspense to get the assistant ripped to shreds here.
Yeah.
Hello?
Again, I love the lighting. The lighting's really good.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just going to look under the car. Is anybody there?
Married with Children. Yeah, that was
no.
good.
Michael Myers, if he speaks, it's, hey, I'm going to fuck you up.
Sound like Candyman, bro.
It's Dr. Claw.
Gotcha. Jason Wiley, Knight Rider. You know, I wasn't a big Knight Rider fan, but I'm very still hopeful for someone to do a good Airwolf Knight Rider crossover. I still would love to see it. Even though I'm not a big Knight Rider fan, I'd love to see those two shows or done in a movie or some shit. I don't know.
Hey, there's always room for Murder, She Wrote. There's always room for a Murder, She Wrote.
Angela.
Good old Angela Lansbury, folks.
What was her first show before Murder, She Wrote that she became famous for? The big one that put her on the map. What was it?
Angela Lansbury?
Yeah.
Well, she was in a lot of old movies, too.
Yeah, that. She did something before Murder, She Wrote, I thought.
She did a lot of stuff. Honey. Hun, can you shut up, honey? I'm talking. Fucking son of a bitch. Frank Riker says, D&T, would you see Terminator versus Johnny 5 Short Circuit? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Come on, do it. Come here. Hello, Terminator.
I'm gonna fuck you up. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
My
dun.
guess, Deputy Dewey, she is dead.
She's dead, Deputy Dewey.
Going
Deputy
out on
Dewey. Deputy Dewey. You couldn't
Deputy
take that
Dewey.
seriously. I mean, if your last name was Dewey, I couldn't, like, if we were cops and we were partners, I couldn't be like, this is my partner, Deputy Dewey.
Ooh, Chastity Smith.
I couldn't do that.
Max of Life or Give Me a Break.
There's nobody could take you seriously, Deputy Dewey. Come on, think about it. Come on. If we were cops, Tony, could you introduce me as as Deputy Dewey?
Deputy Dewey, I'd be like, this is Deputy Dumbass Dewey.
See, this kid with the webcam on his face looks like a younger Liv Schreiber, the guy that played Cotton in the. He looks like a.
I love how they call it. What is young Jamie Lee Curtis? Again, breaking the fourth wall there.
Yes, that's right.
Halloween.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, he distanced himself. Wes distanced himself from his own movies, which is why he chose Halloween in the original Scream instead of Elm Street, and Jamie Lee instead of Heather Langenkamp, or instead of Nancy, because he said it would be a little too self-indulgent. You know what I mean? It's a little,
show, yeah,
a little too much of a pat on the back.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Have some humility here.
This is a powerful scene. This is 2011, and this kid's dialogue is really important.
Mm-hmm.
To what?
Yeah, he's talking about. That's right, and hasn't changed.
Nope. Oh man.
That's funny. That would actually be a funny spoof in a Scream film. The gay guy survives. That's so good.
Put that cookie down. Come on. Now, come on. Come on. Stick around.
Mac at 525 says his name's Robbie Mercer in Scream 4, and his actual name is Eric Knudsen. Who? Robbie? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Aubrey James says, Dave and Tony, can you Predator next? Can you do Predator? Well, Predator's not coming up next, but we're definitely going to do Predator.
Dylan, what's the matter? CIA got you pressing too many pencils?
Robert Thidoff says, fuck Mary. Oh, fuck Mary kill. Jaws 4, Halloween 5, and The Last Jedi. Well, kill The Last Jedi. Mary, Mary. I'd marry Jaws 4. I'd fuck Halloween 5.
None of the above.
And make them bleed. Make them bleed.
I don't know. What do you call that? Necrophilia. You fuck the dead. You're gonna fuck a movie? Like,
yeah, that's what it is, folks. Right there in the box.
Well, let me see. I'll pull actresses from the movie because that just sounds weird to say. What are my? All right, Last Jedi. Halloween 5's in there. Okay, so I totally would fuck Daisy Ridley. Totally would kill the shark in Jaws 4 because that was an abomination. And I would totally marry Ellie Cornell from Halloween 5.
There you go, folks. I'll take Tony up on that. The Artisan says, has Tony seen Annihilation yet from 2018? My favorite film from 2018 is scarier than the film you are watching. Well, that's not a high bar. That's not a high bar. There's many films scarier than Scream 4. I mean, that's like saying, hey, that film's better than scary than Halloween 5, eh? Well, I mean, not that Scream 4 is Halloween 5. I'm just taking it to the extreme. Yes, I've seen Annihilation. I think it's fantastic. Have you seen Annihilation? With Natalie Portman? It's good.
I'll get to it. I'm not a big Natalie fan, but I'll get to it.
I like Natalie. I mean,
I do like V for Vendetta, though. I will say that. I like V.
I like the her very first movie, The Professional.
That's
a good movie.
What's the guy's name in there that she plays?
The French guy. I forget his name. Yeah. Or Leon. It was known as Leon, The Professional.
Yeah.
Or Leon. It was released just as Leon, but that was 94, I think. So yeah, we're 53 minutes, 30 seconds into the movie here. Sydney is talking to her cousin, Emma Roberts.
Shit's hitting the fan. People are dying. Bodies are flying off of buildings.
Bodies are hitting the floor.
Literally.
She thinks she sees somebody. What is that? There's somebody here. That was good. See, I like that. I like that little bit of movement in the reflection. That was not, and you can't make it out that it's a person. You don't know what it is. It's just a little bit of movement. It's like, what is that? And she looks around. I like that. I probably would have milked that scene a bit more. I like that. I like shit like that.
Hello, Kirby.
Hayden.
Kirby. Hi, Kirby. It's me. It's me, Kirby.
What is what else has Hayden done?
Pelletier, whatever.
Yeah. /3 4 29 Golden Globe. Oh, okay, sure. Nashville, 2002, 2003. Remember the Titans at age 10. Fascinating.
Yeah, I remember that, and she was in Remember the Titans. A lot of people don't remember that, but she was in that.
She's only done 3 movies since Scream 4.
She's married. She's a mom. She's married. She's a mama.
Hoodwink. She did Hoodwink 2, Hood versus Evil.
It's tough when you're a mom and you're raising kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Married life and shit.
The Frogger in custody. Good for her. Super chat comes in. Very generous super chat comes in from William Long. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate you supporting the channel, man. D&T, while there isn't one greatest film of all time, I think you can kind of choose at least a couple. I do think there are some flawless films. Subjectivity, of course, but films like Shawshank and Seven and Godfather 2 are all almost perfect, in my opinion. Any films you like? Well, you just mentioned 3 really good ones right there. The Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite films of all time. I think it's one of the greatest motion pictures ever made. Yeah. I really like The Green Mile a lot as well. I think that's a great movie. I really, really like some of the older films, like Rear Window and, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and All About Eve and I mean, some of the old, Hitchcock ones, even ones that aren't. But yeah, I mean, no, those are 3 really good ones right there for sure. Really, really good, man.
Yep. I think with Scream 4.
We got the barn and barrels of hay. Bust out your Michael Myers, folks.
What Scream 4 is, I think I said this earlier
Oh, I remember this scene now.
This franchise is like Friday the 13th Part 6. I think Scream 4 would have done better in the box office had Scream 3 not been a shitty film. Scream 3 definitely impacted the success of this movie because I think weren't they talking about doing a trilogy, her and Wes?
Yes, they were. Yeah,
not like anything definitive, but there were talks that this was supposed to start a new trilogy.
The beginning of a new trilogy. The problem is that what these producers have to remember is when you wait, not necessarily Scream 3 to Scream 4, because that's only 11 years. And I say only 11, it's still 11 years. But when you are making like the vast majority of people that are going to be excited about another Scream movie or another Star Wars movie are people our age. So you have to appeal to us first, and then we will get the younger kids into it, you know, maybe because they're kids that are, you know, our kids or something like that. One of the biggest mistakes that these, and I understand why they do it, is that they try to go directly to the kids. The Star Wars toys, the new toys, their merchandising was garbage. It was absolute just garbage. Now, there's many reasons for that. Kids aren't buying as many toys as they used to anymore, you know, and that does play a factor. But it's like, appeal to us, appeal to the nostalgia within the old fogies, and we're the ones that are going to get the younger kids, you know. It's just, it feels like, you know, you can't, you know, it's like this, hey, care about what your dad used to watch. I don't give a fuck about what my dad used to. I don't care about it. You know what I mean? And it just feels like there's this, that they leapfrog over the people that really matter to the people that are younger that don't care about. I mean, there are teenagers right now that don't give a fuck about Scream. Don't care. I've never even seen Scream. I saw a post the other day. Somebody said, I just watched Jaws for the first time. I'm like, and they said it was okay. Nothing special. I'm like,
which is weird because
it's so weird. And but at the same time, to be fair, it's 1975. I clicked on the guy's, you know, profile, and he's like 21 years old. He's 21. He didn't grow up with Jaws. Jesus Christ, 10 years ago, he was 11. 10 years ago, the biggest movie in the world was Avatar. I can understand that if you're 21 now, going back, and this doesn't mean every 21-year-old, but generally speaking, watching a movie like Jaws would be like us in the 80s watching a movie from the 30s. It's like, what the hell is this? It's slow, it's boring, it's this, it's... You know, so I
will say this, though, when it comes to Scream and the character of Ghostface, for me personally, by the numbers, they're my most popular post on Instagram.
Oh, 100%. Again,
the character is still very popular.
Absolutely. But it's popular in a horror niche area. And a lot of these, you know, people are. And I think it's just really, it's there should be more appeal, you know. And that's why a lot of the times you do see nostalgia in movies. I mean, the Chewie We're Home trailer from The Force Awakens. Say what you want about the sequel Star Wars trilogy, but when we saw that Chewie We're Home trailer, grown men like me were going, oh my God, I had a lump in my throat. I was like, holy shit. You think 15-year-olds were going, oh my God. No, they weren't doing that. They had no context. They don't understand it. Oh, cool. That old fart Harrison Ford is back. Well, they had the prequels, but Harrison Ford wasn't in the prequels, right? No, so it's just like, it's like when you see that, it's like, oh my God, like it's OG. It's like, wow, you know, and that's where your box office is coming from. That's where your ticket sales are coming from, you know, and again, it's generally speaking, obviously it's not an exact science, but I see studios trying to appeal with old shit to new audiences. And it's like, they don't care. I asked my buddy Bruce, his kids, hey, you know, are your kids going to go see, Halloween? No. My buddy's kids didn't go see Halloween. I don't give a fuck about it. Now, again, that doesn't mean every 18-year-old doesn't care about Halloween. We're talking generally, my buddy Bruce, his kids are 18 and 16. They don't give a shit about Halloween Kills coming out. They don't care. They don't care because it's not there. I don't even know what it is. Michael Mahu, you know? And it's just that thing where, but guys like us, we're like, you know, and it's, you know, again, that doesn't mean that, I mean, look, Halloween, you know, 2018 did really well at the box office, highest grossing slasher of all time. But there's a number of reasons for that. One of which is the fact that, you know, that they appealed to, you know, the nostalgia. But of course, it was released in October, and it was one of the only scary horror movies released in October at that time for Halloween. It's called Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis. There's a number of factors. But generally, I find that these studios seem to want to appeal to a younger generation, and I get it. The problem is that sometimes there's no context, and then they just use nostalgia to get us into the theater. But when we get into the theater, we realize it's not what it used to be at all, you know. And then there's a couple things, and they were like, "Hey, remember this, you 45-year-old fucks?"
Some of that I agree with, but then you take a film like the 2018 Halloween, and it was successful, and a lot of people liked it. They don't seem to mind recycling the same thing that you've seen in other movies, you know. And that to me, I think that to me is the biggest disappointment to a new movie coming out within the franchise is because you do limit the creators, because we know what's going to happen when you try to think outside the box and do something different. It's going to get shit on. So why? Because everyone is caught up in the nostalgia factor. So, okay, let's just repeat the same shit that we've seen. And that's it. I mean, really, to make Halloween Kills and Ends successful, just fucking throw in a bunch of familiar shit and people are going to be happy.
I agree.
That's what I don't like about the modern day movie going audience, is that they don't want to think outside the box. They don't want new shit. They want basically the same shit that they've seen a million times over.
Right. Oh no, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Star Wars is another proof of that, you know?
Yo,
I want
for
my
sure.
same shit, you know?
For sure. Oh, 100%. That's why the nostalgia is there, is to appeal to guys like us. Yep. You know what I mean? And to pull on the heartstrings and the nostalgia, you know, strings and to get our asses in the theater. And then, you know, and then there's they're trying to kill many birds with one stone. When really
hard.
It's hard to do. When really at the end of the day,
generations.
Just make a good movie. At the end of the day, just make a good story, a good movie. You know what I mean? And let the chips fall where they may. But I just think there's so much on nostalgia now. So much. Too much, really. And again, what Tony and I are talking about here is generally speaking, right? It doesn't mean that there aren't 15-year-olds who love Halloween 2018 and know everything about it. You know what I mean? And some 70-year-olds who love Halloween. It's generally speaking, I find that's what you get, you know, sometimes. Like it's you get a lot of people that are not like there's a horror, like, you know, you sometimes forget that the horror community, you know, in of itself can be it's a bubble, you know, and there's that, you know, that's why there is a term called the general audience, and the general audience doesn't necessarily, they're not as emotionally attached, and the general audience is bigger. It's a far bigger audience than a horror audience. And that, you know, that's why there's a number of reasons why, you know, the 2018 Halloween was so successful. It wasn't just, you know, it's not $250 million of just horror fans.
Mackie getting the knife in the head.
Yeah, right in the.
Like, he's like, oh,
I know.
And he's like, fuck you, man, fuck you, shit.
That literally looked like it went into his brain. Like, I think he should just fucking die right there.
No, Wes was like, come on, Anthony, I want that Oscar-winning.
Yeah, get out of the car, crawl along the hood. Let's see the blood all over the place.
Throw some air punches.
Yeah.
What does he say here? Shit or fuck? Fuck Bruce Willis. I mean, it's so
fuck Bruce Willis.
Top, man. It's great.
That's right.
That's
fuck
why
Bruce
I like
Willis.
This sequel, you know, there's a lot of original things in this that Wes did, and Kevin, because Kevin wrote it, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, that made this like really hold up on his own. And like I said, if you watch Scream and Scream 4, you got two really good movies. You know, you don't really need to watch the two in the middle. No offense to those who were part of the two in the middle, but it just. This really did a good job of putting the movie back on track. And it's unfortunate what happened to Wes, because it would have been really cool to see what they could have possibly done, you know?
Yep. I agree. Robert Thidoff sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, take all nightmares, Friday 13th and Halloween's. Which films are the worst? I'd say Jason X. Well, we know what films are the worst. We know what films are the worst. In Halloween, it's probably 5 and 6 and Resurrection are probably your worst. H2O, I'm not a fan of.
The worst Halloween film? I'm going to say...
you want the worst Halloween film?
The worst Halloween film, I'm going to go with the original, 78. No, I'm kidding. I can't even say that with a straight face.
The worst Halloween film is a toss-up between 5 and...
5 and Resurrection for me.
Probably 5 and Resurrection, and then H2O for me.
5 for me, because the misuse and mishandling of Daniel Harris' character and Rachel's character really just... It gnaws at me. Resurrection, I don't own. I don't even watch. So I don't even. I'm thinking worst one that I own, and the worst one that I own would be Halloween 5.
Right. Elm Street, the worst one for me. Easy. Freddy's Dead, and just watched that the other night. What a fucking shithole that
I'm like,
is.
I'm glad you did that for your solo strip, because I don't want to have to sit through that.
It is a shithole like I've ever. It is a garbage ass movie. And then the worst Friday 13th for me, I haven't seen Jason X in a while. I didn't like it, but I would say
It's between Lives and X for me. It's either Live or no, not Lives. Jason Goes to Hell. Lives.
I was going to say,
that's like my
Jason
third
Goes to
favorite.
Hell is terrible.
Yeah, Hell, and it's between Hell and X.
Terrible. Jason Goes to Hell is terrible.
Yeah, the only reason why I didn't mention Rob Zombie's 2 is because I don't own Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I'm thinking of the ones that I own that I would consider in my collection of films that what would be the worst one of my collection would be Halloween 5.
Right.
The only reason why I didn't say Rob Zombie's 2 or Resurrection because I don't have those two films.
Toronto Freddy says, no watching paint dry tonight, Dave? Yeah, that's right. No, not tonight. Not tonight, Aaron.
And the worst Texas Chainsaw would be every single one after the original, except not counting the reboot. Because I do like the reboot and I do like the beginning. I love that shot, the reflection off of the
that was good.
Creative. They just a lot of creative shots in this movie.
That was good. I liked it too.
That's a hero knife. Totally can tell that's a hero knife. That's a hero knife.
You're dead. The look on her face.
I know, right? I ain't going anywhere. Though, I just don't know if that would actually happen. Through a mail slot?
Yeah, probably not.
Not. The
Probably
blade would have
not.
a hard time
Yeah,
going through
yeah,
the
yeah.
slot like that. I mean, if he went in sideways with it, because you know what I mean? Like, this blade is a thick blade. It's not a thin blade, you know? So you're trying to get this through a mailbox. Like, no, but now if he went in sideways, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
There goes my final girl in action, about to whoop some ass.
Macca525 says, Dave, what does your t-shirt say? It says Halloween safety. And down here it says something with a sitter's guide to babysitting. It's just a funny little shirt. Funny little shirt.
The funny little shirt, man.
Deputy Hicks. This is Deputy Hicks. Copy that. We're on our way. Deputy Hicks is on it.
Sure, it's not Deputy Logan.
Ooh, Deputy Logan. This is Deputy Dewey here.
Deputy Logan
Dewey.
From, Halloween 4 making a cameo. Coming back from the dead.
Maybe. Oh. I think her character should have died.
Forever ago.
Yeah.
I won't be sad when she goes. Sorry, Gail. Time to sign
now,
off.
Didn't is there any animosity between David Arquette and Courtney Cox?
Now that they're divorced, I don't know.
Because that might be like, hey, you want to come back and act with your ex-husband?
I think they're professional enough that they would be fine.
Yeah.
I think because they do strike me as professionals. That all right, let's do this. You know, maybe David Arquette's like, can I have it that I'm the guy and kill Gail Weathers?
Ooh.
Talk about a little personal thing, probably.
You know what though? I would be okay.
With him being the killer?
Yes.
If it was revealed in if they did a cliffhanger and then part 6, they reveal it actually as Dewey.
And then that's just where you end it. That's it.
You don't
end
kill
it completely. Him. Yeah. He just murders everybody and then he stands there. What does he say in the original Scream when he turns on the flashlight and he's got it under his chin? What the hell does he say again?
I can't remember now.
The chat room will let us know. What does Dewey say in the original Scream? Oh, you aren't scared, are you? Isn't that what he says?
Something
you aren't
like
scared,
that.
Are you?
It's something like that. But I get where you're
something
going.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, you realize it's him the whole time. And then he turns on the flashlight and he looks at the camera and he's just like, you aren't scared, are you?
Yeah.
And then you just cut to black, and that's it. Roll credits. That's it. The end of Scream. Dewey wins. He gets his revenge for everybody, you know. That'd be funny. Yep. Robert Thidoff sends a super chat, says, the Mark Patton Scream Queen doc is out tomorrow. It is, yes. Folks, watch that documentary. Mark Patton, the documentary is Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. Watch that. It's been playing the festival circuit for the better part of over a year now.
A lot of good reviews too.
Great reviews. I'm going to try and get Mark Patton on McRae Live.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I got to talk. I just think it's such a, not just
It's a great
whole
story. Just
it's a
all
great
around.
story.
Yeah.
It is, and it does, and I like when people are able to set the record straight. You know, and I want to get him on. So, and apparently, I forget who it was, but one of our viewers told me that they reached out to Mark and asked if he would come on, and Mark said he would. So that's good. I just need to reach out to him and try and set that up in the near future, because I think that would be a lot of fun.
For sure. Maca525, I think you're right. He says that they were separated while making Scream 4 and then filed for divorce in 2013. I think you're right. I think they were.
Okay.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to speak without looking it up. I'm almost positive that they were separated during this. That's why I said I think Arquette and Courtney Cox, they have even though they're divorced, I think they're like friends. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're cool with each other enough to do a movie together without it being weird.
Right.
So.
I got you.
That was me yesterday.
That was you yesterday.
I was because we went mudding. We went quad riding yesterday. First time of the year, and
Okay.
We had the healthy Coronas.
I got you. What you had the Corona?
We had the
you
Vin
had the
Diesel,
Corona.
Paul Walker Coronas.
You had the Corona without the virus. Oh, folks.
Corona with the limes.
Folks, is that too soon? The Corona without
be.
the virus? A little too soon, maybe.
I had the Corona with the lime. No, actually, we didn't have lime. We didn't have any lime. But we did have Coronas.
I wonder what somebody would say if I walked into a bar and said, "I'll have a Corona without the virus." I wonder. Ooh.
No, that might be too soon.
Might be too soon.
Well, maybe
Too
in
soon?
Canada, because you guys don't take shit seriously. Here in the States, you piss everybody off.
Well, that I don't know. There's people up here that take shit way too seriously too. Oh yeah, everybody's got them. Yeah, this kid looks like he's the son of Cotton, man. Telling you, that's how they should have spun it. I totally would have bought it.
Oh, for sure.
Listen to that. See, the sound design is just so important in this scene here.
Yep, that was me yesterday.
Walks right into a potted
That was
plant,
me.
ladies and gentlemen. I love it. Walks into a potted plant. Frank Riker says they have kids, David and Courtney. Do they have kids?
Yeah, they do.
Poor children.
He says poor children.
Aubrey James says if they do a Scream 5, make it as just a sequel to the first one, like they did Halloween.
I love
that
this
would be hard to
because
do with Scream, I think.
What I love most about this scene is, like, we were 30 when this movie came out. So we're still kind of close enough to the age of these
32.
people, so like we're still sort of, it fits. Okay. And I could totally identify with this kid being a fan of horror movies, and the fact that he's getting the girl, I was like, fuck yeah, man.
He's getting the girl.
And then Dick Wad walks in.
Wouldn't he be a wait. Is that? Oh yeah,
Dick
no.
Wad.
Right.
I was like, fuck, man. He should
I
have.
kind of remember this scene now. Yeah. And I think I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, good
Exactly.
for you, buddy. Good for
know?
you son of a.
Get her.
Good for him. Good for him.
Get that fiery little.
right.
Oh, fuck you, man. Come on.
Yes.
I just interrupt something?
She's just looking at him like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking kill you, bro.
Yeah, you did. Who invited you, Trevor? I love it.
We had friends like that growing up. Did you? Friends that just would show up and you're like, come on, dude, you gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
Low, you know, like,
Yeah, in
fuck
college,
bro, go home.
Yep. And if you didn't have friends like that, maybe you were that person. Oh, folks.
Atomic Beauty.
I don't know.
Dave
That's
and
what they
Tony,
say.
You really don't want a Scream 5. I don't think it's necessarily we don't want it. It's just I don't want a shitty Scream. You know what I mean? Like
That's what it's all about, right?
If I were to rank by the horror franchises now, not all-time favorite movies, but if I were to rank the franchises, we'll go with the core 5. It would be Halloween, Friday, Nightmare, Scream, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't want to see what Scream became with 2 and 3. They got this one back on track with Scream 4, so I want it to be good. That's why I threw out the idea of like, you change the formula up. Like that's the whole point of, you know, horror movies is you want to change the formula up. So do a cliffhanger. You haven't done a cliffhanger yet. And even the idea of Dewey being the killer, I'm on board with. I think that's a really fucking cool twist that we're talking about now. If it happens, it would be like, oh shit, we were right.
I think,
you know,
I think for Dewey to be
like that, you know what I mean?
What I would like though, and I don't know how they would do this, and you don't want to shoehorn it in, but somehow Dewey, you realize that not that he's been the main, not that he's been the puppet master all along, but you realize that he was more connected than what it seemed. And because I think for Dewey to suddenly just be the killer would feel kind of strange too. But if they could weave a story somehow where you can make certain connections to the past and go, oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean?
Cool.
That would be cool.
That's on some Wes Craven fucking layer shit. You know what I mean?
And I think that could be more believable than just another random person, you know, who's introduced into the the fold. And right, I mean, it's not, look, winning solves everything, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if you win, nobody, you know, complains. The problem is that the more horror movies you make, the less likely they're going to be good. Yep. And in a horror franchise. And it doesn't mean that you can't, but we're up to Scream to be 5 now. And it's like, what are we doing? Like, where are we going?
But the one good thing is if they continue it with Neve Campbell and Sydney's character, there at least has been almost a decade between Scream 4 and Scream 5. You know what I mean?
True.
That does help it a little bit.
It could help it, but it could also just as hinder it.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like one of those things where I have to believe in that she's still running into this problem. You know, hello, Sydney, I'm back again. And it's like, really? Like, I mean, it just kind of seems like, I don't know, you know, does she find herself back in the same town again like she does in this movie? Why is she back there again?
That's why this story arc of what happens versus to what happens in 2 and 3. I believe this is a cousin who becomes jealous, who becomes obsessive, and ends up being ultimately one of the 2 killers in this movie. I buy into that. So yeah, they have to do something, like you said, very creatively, because when you look at the original spot on. Billy and Stu, 2 dudes who are obsessive horror fans. Billy, obviously, with the deeper meaning because of what happened with his father and Sydney's mom, causing the breakup of the marriage. So that was another thing that, you know, you didn't see coming. And then to bring it to this, I'm like, okay, I can buy that, you know. But, you know, it's 2, it's Billy's mom seeking revenge. I'm like, all right, I can get through that. 3, fuck a Roman. I'm not feeling 3 at all.
Fuck a Roman.
Fuck a Roman. No, I ain't feeling any of that shit in that story arc. So that's what I'm saying. 5 could be good, which the Dewey twist could actually work because the arc of that could make sense if they do it like you said, that they sprinkle in shit there that's like, oh, okay, you know, shit from the past.
Right. And then and you just leave it at that. You know, you just kind of like, that's kind of it.
Yeah. This is the turn, or sort of the turn. Beginning.
I remember now.
Yeah, it's not the complete turn just yet. No. This is the start. Like, she doesn't know.
Yep. Blonde Danielle Harris right here. Winter Rose 4444 says, Dewey is just such an inherently good person, though. I think that's part of this appeal. If he turned to be a killer, I don't know. Well, that's part of the irony. Ooh. It's a risk, but it might be fun. Or maybe it's a Dewey imposter. It's somebody that it's Dewey's identical twin brother that nobody knew about and he never talked about, so they just throw it in there. I hear you like horror movies, Kirby. Now we're watching.
This was, again, a good callback to the first Scream.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Right.
Because they don't go full on, because you see here in a moment that, you got the twist.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this callback to the original Scream.
That's right. The Film Addict sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, hey, Dave and Tony, here is my pitch for Halloween Ends. Steve Austin stunners Mike at the end and gives Laurie 3 stunners. Then the credits roll, and in the credits, you hear Austin doing Loomis's speech. I love it.
Ending it with, oh, give me a hell yeah. Crash you some beer.
If anybody wants me to kick his ass, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah. If anybody wants me to punch this bitch in the face, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I love when she starts going, like, listing shit off. I'm like, God, you're my dream woman.
Tony just wants to have one date with this woman right here, folks.
Fuck yeah. It'd be the greatest night of my life.
The greatest night of his life.
Yeah, because that's about all I'll get from Hayden is a night. I fool myself. I know where my limits are. She's beyond my limits. Way beyond my limits.
I watched him sitting in a room for 15 years, sitting at a wall, not seeing the wall.
You missed it, man. She mentioned your movie.
What movie? Black Christmas. Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Hopefully she was talking about the original. Hopefully she was talking about the original.
Because it was all the remakes that she just missed. She listed.
And
you start that I wanted everyone.
Wait, she
to hear
listed the remakes.
All the remakes that she.
Then she was talking.
How many movies that have been remade? And
yes,
that's the whole point of like Wes Craven going, "What the fuck? We're remaking all these fucking movies because we can't come up with original fucking shit." Yeah.
No, then she was talking about the 2006 Black Christmas, which was
because it was all the remakes.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that damn Culkin brother. You son of a bitch. Here she goes. She's going down. It's over.
Again, I didn't see coming. And when it happened, I was like, fuck. Okay.
Damn. She's going to die now, bitch. She's going to die. You're going to die.
I would have. See, dude, you should have tapped it, then kill it. You kind of fucked up there, bro.
Well, depending on what kind of sick, twisted fuck he is, he can still go out there and... I'm just saying. I wouldn't do it. Listen, I wouldn't do it. I'm not saying I would do. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying that if
apparently we all know what Dave does on Saturday nights.
No, that was one Saturday. It was one Saturday. It was a Corona without the virus. Okay, stop. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We've had
one
too many tonight.
No. It's all over, bitch. It's me, your cousin. Yes.
At this point when she stabbed her, I thought, shit, maybe Wes is going to go here. I thought for a brief moment, I thought, is he, because I didn't know anything about the movie. I didn't read up on it. I had no interest in Scream 4 after the shit show of Scream 3.
Yeah.
So when I'm watching this as it's happening, I'm like, is he going here? Like, is he going to kill off Sydney finally? Of course not, but.
If anybody wants me to stun her, Jamie Lee Curtis, give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Again, this turn I thought was well done. Didn't see coming. Didn't see the cousin coming.
Sorry, I'm still thinking about Steve Austin stuttering Laurie Strode.
I would love someone to make a GIF thing video. You know what I mean? They could do that. You have to find a video of Curtis falling down forward in that position of the way someone gets a stunner.
Right,
you know what I mean?
I was told there was nothing left, no reason, no conscience. So I kicked that bitch in the face.
And whooped his candy ass. No, that's The Rock.
That's The Rock.
It's The Rock. The Rock be whooping the candy ass.
Oh, right in the face. Shot him in the head. This cousin is evil. This cousin is evil, folks. You figured out yet, Sydney?
Shot him. Like, really? You're going to shoot him in the nuts? Like, come on. Like, you know, every guy watching this is like,
I know. It's like, seriously, do you have to shoot him in the testes? Like, really, do you have to do that?
Go for the headshot. Go for the kill shot and call it a day. Don't, like,
that's it. That's it.
Dick.
Oh, it is.
No pun.
Oh, it's a dick move. It's a big dick move.
Well, we don't know that, but it was a dick
That's
move.
true. It could be a small one. It could be. It absolutely could be a small one.
We are here all week, folks.
We are here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Yeah.
Look at them kissing.
Tipping is not just a city in China.
Oh man.
That was bad.
Where are we here? We are an hour and 28 minutes and 46 seconds into the movie. We're coming essentially just about 10, 15 minutes left in the film, if that. And coming to the end here, the climax of Scream 4. Sydney's cousin, Jill, right? Jill. I have a sister, Jill. Older sister, Jill. Jill is basically now going through all the exposition about why she's evil and how she's evil and what her plan was.
Yeah. It totally makes sense because this is, again, the infancy of like the importance of being popular on social media.
Sure.
And all that. Like he really tapped into something that's, because I got to tell you, dude, I meet a lot of young people, and the one thing that comes out of a lot of their mouths is, I just want to be famous. They don't want to be rich. They don't want to be stable. They don't want,
they just want to be popular.
Just want to be popular. And
yep.
like, I don't get that. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
I don't understand that. With popularity, there comes a price, meaning your privacy is totally gone. And
sure,
like, for me, I like my privacy, but it made sense because I got where he was going with it, with the Jill character, because I met a lot of people who were that obsessed with becoming famous and popular.
Right. In the fence. Come on,
again,
Sydney.
this was good. I liked that they didn't do the total 2 killer thing, that she killed him off, so you're not totally ripping off the original. You're nodding to the original, but you're making it your own. Again, this is where Halloween 2018 failed.
Yep.
They nodded to the original, but we made it our own.
That's right. Sick, right?
See, I don't need friends. I need fans. Like
that's right. That's right. I wonder.
That is still even relatable to this day.
Do we know what Wes's plan was for this potential new trilogy that this movie's making?
I'd love Kevin. I'm sure Kevin and him talked about it. I'd love Kevin to maybe talk about that, because he would be the one to know. Yeah, Kevin Williamson, the writer of the Scream movies.
Yeah, I'd like to know what some of their ideas were. Like where he was going to take it. Yeah. And still keep it fresh and new, like what he was thinking.
Well, no, now what Scream could do is what Scream could do with, the woke culture is, I think what isn't the popular thing to do now is to say something offensive, get everybody against you, and then say people are sending me threatening things. So you try to get people to sympathize with you. Right.
Well, that's one way to do it.
People are doing it now.
That's one way.
Piss them off and get death threats so everyone can sympathize for you. That's what Scream will do.
That's maybe that's what they will do. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Atomic Beauty says, should Scream 5 be the final battle with Sidney and Ghostface and finally end the franchise? Well, eventually things got to end. The one thing I hate, and don't you guys hate this? Would you rather a horror franchise just end because the movies get shitty and there's no real sense of like a finalization, right? Like there's no real sense of finale. There's no real sense of completion. It's just they keep making movies and then they eventually stop making those movies, not because the story comes to an end, but because they just die at the box office and the movies just get shittier and shittier. And now it feels like there's no end. It's just kind of messy. Or would you rather them just have, you know, a couple of good movies that are really good and end it? Sure, you don't get any more, but at least you feel like there's an ending and it feels good and it feels satisfying. I hate when horror franchises go on and on and on because they're successful. I understand why. It's a business. I get it. But then they don't really end. They just kind of stop making them and there really is no ending. Or they do end it, but they're ending it, you know, in the 8th film, and it's just a shell of what it was, and the actors aren't even in there anymore. It just kind of ends shitty. I hate that shit. So to answer your question, yeah, maybe it's not a bad idea. You know, just kind of bring everybody back, end it.
This girl is all kind of crazy.
No, this girl is nuts.
This girl is all kind of crazy.
Well, who's your agent?
This girl is sharing a cell with.
Whoa!
Michael. She's sharing.
Right on top of the
Orman.
Now, what if that was somebody giving her a rock bottom right on top of the table?
See, yes, you could put the rock there and you could actually do a rock bottom with this. Absolutely. You could make one of those videos and it works because of the motion of her going down. Someone get on it and make that video.
That would be so great. That would be a lot of fun. That would be fun. Frank Riker sends a super chat and says, Myers saw his shadow. Sorry, 6 more weeks of winter. Fuck. 6 more weeks of winter. God damn it. Macca525 says, Dave McRae, that's what Jason X was, flop at the bottom. Well, that's my point. I would much rather have an ending that felt... I would much rather an ending to a series that leaves me wanting more than an ending to a series that makes me wish they had ended it 4 movies before. Like, I you know... Jill, can you give us... Oh, that lying bitch. That lying fucking little bitch. Look at her. She loves it. She's popular. She's famous. Jill. That's what this is supposed to sort of represent here. She's famous. She's getting all the attention. The flash bulbs going off. Jill. I'm way ahead of you, really?
Yeah, because now I'm just getting to the flash bulbs and shit.
I'm at the Westboro Community Hospital now.
Okay, I got to catch up to you. Where are you at in the hospital?
Dewey's talking to Jill in the hospital.
Okay.
She's got slices all over her face.
All right. I caught up to you. I was behind you a little bit. Well, I'm watching the 4K version. I think there's a couple scenes.
Okay.
They added.
Okay. I'm watching the Blu-ray.
I was almost about a good minute or two behind you there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Blu-ray.
Okay. Yeah, I'm watching the digital 4K. And I think there's a couple scenes that are either the scenes are extended or there's scenes in here that they added in.
Okay.
And he's telling her that she might be alive right now. Sydney?
Yeah, I know.
Right? No, right? Is that the...
Oh, yeah, yes. It's still touch and go.
Yeah, I agree. Vonderhoff 66FU. I do agree that the hospital sequence here, good, but did drag just a little bit. They could have shortened it up and tightened it just a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. I think there was just a little bit too much fat that could have been trimmed off, and it would have been fine.
Just a little too much Rita McNeil. I got you.
Oh, I didn't want to say a person's name.
Oh, come on. You weren't a kid that made... Listen, I'm just saying, when you're a kid...
When I was a kid,
Rest in peace, Rita McNeil.
Freaking your mama jokes were all over the place. Your mama was so fat.
Everybody said eat a big meal instead of Rita McNeil. I mean, come on. Your mama
was so fat when she broke her leg, gravy poured out.
That's terrible.
But that was
she's pissed.
That's the shit we did on the basketball courts in the day, man.
That's true. That's true.
But no one got mad and nobody got offended.
Now, here's something that's funny. Mr. Knight says, I want to bend over Nev Campbell. You want to bend over Nev Campbell, or you want Nev Campbell to bend over? That can be taken another way. I myself want to bend over Nev Campbell.
It's kind of weird. Like I look at
I'm just busting your balls, buddy.
Not saying she doesn't have sex appeal. She totally has sex appeals, but I look at her as more like wife
Nev
material.
Nev Campbell? Yeah.
Nev, I look at more as wife material. Like I can't just look at her. She is sexually, yes, but there's a bit of elegance to her that I'm like, okay, I can't be too vulgar about the way I
well, she's very sweet.
No. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Not saying I wouldn't want to have my fun, Nev, but I'm just saying, like, you're not the kind of girl that you just throw out a one-line or two.
You heard it here, folks. Is Nev Campbell single?
Probably not.
I don't know. Is she single? Let's find out. What does it say online? Nev Campbell doesn't spouses. Yeah, she's married. She's married to a J.J. Field.
Okay, then.
J.J. Field since 2011.
Oh, good. Well, right when this came out.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
But the question is not,
I've
is she
seen
married?
Wild Things. Abso-freaking-lutely. And she was fucking hot in that. I liked the little bad side to her. She brought the bad side out.
The question is not, is she married, folks? The question is she happily married?
Yes, that is a key question.
The question.
Come on, Nev, kick that bitch.
Fucking little son of a bitch. Cat fight. That's so.
Hit me with a piss pan, man.
Now this is a good fight. I buy it. I
honestly,
believe.
I was waiting for that line. You know, a callback to Dewey's line.
Oh
yeah.
With
a piss pan, man.
Right.
You know, the phone dick.
Yeah. She yeah. Oh, she's gonna hit Dewey with the toilet thing. Oh, that's gonna suck. Imagine if it was used.
Oh, I know, right?
He's getting his ass kicked from a porta potty thing. She got the fame she wanted. Now she's gonna die.
Mr. Knight, Nev Campbell or Danielle Harris? Nev Campbell. Nev Campbell any day of the week and 4 times on Sunday.
Sorry, what's the question?
Campbell or Danielle Harris?
Oh.
Who would you pick, Nev or Danielle? Nev any day of the week.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Put the fucking gun down, bitch. Put it down, bitch. Put the gun down. Oh yeah. That's the girl. She looks like the girl cop looks like
Anna Faris. Every time I see her, she kind of has an Anna Faris
a little
feel.
bit. She also makes me. She also looks like fuck, I forget her name now.
Don't be a fool. Wear the vest. Protect the chest.
Is that what she says?
I think that's the line, something like that.
Don't be a fool. Wear a vest. Protect the chest. I like that.
I don't think it's don't be a fool. I think it's just wear the chest, protect the vest, something like that. I threw in
right.
It's something like that.
Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. See, she should have said wear a vest, protect the breasts. That's what she should have said, right?
Yeah.
Makes more sense. Unless somebody else says that. Scott Mariano says that's Wendy Peppercorn from The Sandlot.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, he's totally right about that.
Wow.
That is Wendy. That is
Peppercorn.
That is Squint's main squeeze.
I love the name Peppercorn. It's great. Wendy Peppercorn and Robert's Fat Stacks Malone.
See, I love that line. You forgot one thing about the remakes. Don't fuck with the original.
Yeah. It is a good line.
Clearly sending a message to Hollywood that Hollywood continues to ignore. And they'll reboot this movie and it will flop. Well, maybe not flop, but it's not going to do as well as the original Scream.
Yeah. Of course, Jill's dead to hear that. Jill was dead, so she wasn't really saying it to anybody, but no, I get it. Yeah, no, it's true. And then, but Wes was going to sort of go against his own message here and make 2 more.
Yeah, what's the line here? Hold on. What did she say? Oh, wear the vest, save your chest.
Oh.
That's the line. Okay, I was close. I knew it was
You were
something like
close.
that.
You were close.
I've seen this movie enough. I know.
Yes. You were definitely close. Frank Riker sends a super chat. DT, if you don't stop offering me, I'll report you to the tens of followers who care. If you don't stop offering me?
Offending.
Offending. Maybe it's offending me. Maybe it's offending me. Yeah. I'll
He's throwing a little
to the tens of followers who care.
The tens and tens of followers.
And millions.
And tens and fives of followers.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Directed by the man.
I mean, yeah, I did enjoy this movie better than I did 3. Yeah. I will say that. I enjoyed this movie better than I did 3. I thought the overall reason in part 3, the excuse that like the explanation that wrapped everything up.
Those are 2 names you won't be seeing in credits anytime soon. Weinstein.
No, that's true. That's
you
true.
won't be seeing that anymore.
No.
He got found guilty, right?
Yes, on some charges and not others, but he's still got to be. I think he's still got to be tried in LA too. But I will say this: yeah, I didn't like the explanation of Scream 3. There's a few moments in part 3 I like, but the explanation, like all of a sudden there's this brother she didn't know about, and all of a sudden there's like I just thought it didn't feel. It felt like bullshit. It felt made up for the sake of this movie, which obviously it was. But I didn't like that. I did enjoy this movie better than the 3rd movie. I will say that.
Yeah. No,
yeah, I enjoy this movie better than the 3rd
with you.
movie.
It's my second favorite sequel. After that would be 2 and then 3. But I honestly, I don't watch 2 and 3 nearly enough as I watched the first one and this one.
Right, right.
Those are the 2 that I tend to go to when I'm in a Scream mood. I usually watch the first and then I conclude it with this. Occasionally I'll pop on 2 if I'm in a really, fun mood. Dude, literally 3 would literally the next time I watch it will have to be when we do it live.
Yeah.
It's really, that's going to be the next time I watch, just like Halloween 5 and God, please spare me and let's never do Resurrection. No, it's probably coming. And that will be the last time I watch it. When we do our live stream,
probably.
I will rent it. I will not buy it. I will rent it and I will never watch it again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Resurrection's just fucking terrible. Hey, should we move over to the chat room and see how everybody's doing over there and take some questions? We'll hang out for a little bit. Let's do this. Okay. You guys got questions. Tony and I might have some answers.
I'll make it up.
Yeah, we'll just make it up. We make it up as we go along. What do we got? 143 people still watching. That's pretty good. Episode 59 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Scream 4. We just finished Scream 4. Giving some commentary, answering your questions.
For episode 69, Debbie Does Dallas.
Debbie does not only Dallas, but the entire East Coast.
We can do the classic Deep Throat.
Oh.
Episode 69.
Basic Instinct, maybe.
Ooh.
I don't know. Atomic Beauty says, Dave and Tony, who would you pick as the best survivor in a slasher film? Laurie Strode or Sidney Prescott? I would say Sidney Prescott. Yeah, it's more of the traditional classic archetype.
She's my favorite final girl. Yep.
Yeah, in what we've come to sort of know about that, I would agree with that. Mr. Knight says, everyone's talking about Nev and JLC, but what about Michelle Williams from H2O? What about Michelle Williams from H2O? I don't think you can. I guess I totally.
I got to go with Jodie Lynn O'Keefe over her, to be honest with you. I like Jodie Lynn O'Keefe in H2O over Michelle Williams.
Yeah. I like Michelle Williams as an actress, but H2O just feels so. If Michelle Williams had continued on into Resurrection, maybe. Yeah. But I'm like, Michelle Williams in H2O.
That's what H2O gets ruined. Just like Halloween 4 got ruined by Halloween 5, H2O gets ruined by Resurrection because nobody's arcs carried on. It was like, what the fuck? Never mind. I don't want to get into that.
It's painful, isn't it? It's painful.
It really is because, never mind. Anyway.
I get it, man. I totally get it.
Well, you guys, a nobody. I like that. A nobody. Dude, you could become a famous YouTuber. You are the a nobody.
You are a nobody.
Will you guys ever watch The Shining? Yeah, actually, we were talking about that last week. I think we're going to save that to what, November this year, right?
Yeah, we're gonna save it in and around sort of the creepy time of year.
Yeah, creepy time of year. Because we're coming out of that now, and we've already got things pretty much pre-planned. So yeah, it's definitely coming for sure this year.
Neptman says, will you guys ever watch The Fog? I assume you mean the original from 1980. Yeah, I'd watch it again. I watched it for a Saturday movie night for my patrons 6-7 months ago, something like that. I'd watch it again for two dudes. Yeah. The Fog, The Thing, They Live. I know some people wanted to watch wants to watch They Live. That'd be fun.
I'm sure we'll get all the Carpenter's hits in there at some point.
For sure. Who Is She says, does New Nightmare make Nightmare on Elm Street feel complete to you guys? Did there need to be another movie or maybe a different... I would say this. I would say, for me, yes and no. Like, Freddy's Dead was a god-awful film. An absolute abomination. It was brutal. I just watched it again for the first time in a long time the other night for a Saturday movie night, which is a part of my Patreon. But it's up on my channel for you guys to watch. And it's just so bad. And then New Nightmare comes along, and it's different because it's telling you that the series was fake. The series wasn't real. The series actually never happened. Now, if you can get on board with that and get sort of settled into this meta cerebral sort of, unorthodox approach that Wes Craven was taking, it was interesting in and of itself, but it is a very acquired taste because it requires you to suspend your disbelief almost, and get under the mindset that everything you became emotionally attached to, all the characters, it never really happened. It was all fake. And that now the actors are playing fictional versions of themselves, and in a world where the movies were actually like, it's cool, but I can't say that it makes me feel like the original series is complete, because I think in my heart I still want to feel like those movies were real. That these characters weren't just actors, they were real characters and these things were happening to them. So I almost separate New Nightmare from it. Like I've never really felt like, it's kind of, it feels kind of weird. I don't know, Tony, do you feel that way or?
No, I mean, I do feel it's complete. I feel Wes gives you a good bookend to what ultimately we got with Freddy's Dead. It kind of redeems it a little bit for me, or not a lot.
That it does,
a lot of it. It redeems it hugely for me. But I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? I see where you're coming from, but I do think it completes it. Yes, it does eliminate like what happens with, Dream Warriors and all that, because it's picking up from the first film. So you could in fact watch the first film and Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and that's a complete 2 movies. You know what I mean? It works. So it works within that. If I were to rank the Nightmare films, for me, it's the OG, then probably 3, then it's a toss-up between 2 and Wes Craven's New Nightmare, because those are the only 4 that I watch. I don't watch 5, I don't watch 6, and 4. I have them in my VHS collection, and I have them digitally because I had to buy the whole thing as one group. Right. But I fucking never watched those 3.
Yeah. No, I never watch 6. I never watch 5. Yeah. I rarely watch 4. If I'm watching Elm Street, it's usually just, the first 3, and usually even just the first 2. But yes, certainly be the first 3. And New Nightmare I will watch. Like, New Nightmare is probably my 4th favorite. Like, it probably goes for me 1, 2, 3, then New Nightmare.
Sure.
Yeah, that's probably what that's for me. Yeah.
Nepman. Which Myers looks cooler to you, H1 1978 or H2 81? Oh, Castle. Nick Castle. I mean, 100%. Tricky Dickie's good. Good old Dick Warlock. He's good.
Look, listen. There's always room for Dick. Okay. There's always room for Dick. Yes, exactly. And look, there's always room for Dick.
And listen, Dick Warlock did good. I minus the high riser pants there, which I do. If you look at some of my Myers photos, I do a good Dick Warlock callback.
I saw some of them.
and the fans pick up on that, and only Halloween fans know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, the average person's like, oh, that's a cool Myers photo. But real hardcore fans are like, dude, you went Warlock on your photo.
That's right. That's
I don't know if that was just an error on the, the set designer's fault. Like, hey, maybe we want to get trousers that like fit him and come down to his bottom of his heel, like
right.
for Castle.
Right.
But I thought at times Warlock, was a little too robotic in the walk. Like when he's walking down the stairs, he's very almost like Frankenstein-like, you know what I mean?
100%.
Whereas Nick Castle obviously, had that elegance, had that grace, just Castle's movement, it's unmatched. I mean, yes, James Drew Courtney is second bar none compared to all the other guys that have played Michael. But it's still not Castle. You know what I mean? Castle just, again, perfect storm. I don't even think he overthought it when he was doing it, to be honest with you. When John says just walk, and he walked, I really think Castle just walked. I don't think, I know, and you hear him in interviews, and sometimes I wonder, I'm like, did you really think that, bro? In 1978, if I was standing there with you, you were probably thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? I got this silly ass mask on and he's having me walk across the street in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like that in my mind is probably more realistic of what was going through his mind while making this movie. He's probably just having fun with his buddy. Like I would be with you if making a movie. You know what I mean? I don't think he was that methodical in his thinking, even though I know he says it years later. Do you think he was that at the time, 1978?
No, I don't. Because the story is, look, Nick Castle and John Carpenter went to film school together, and right. Nick Castle knew that Carpenter was making a movie down the street from where Nick lived. So Nick naturally went down to hang out on set. To hang out with his buddy and watch John direct, because Nick ultimately wanted to be a director. Right. And he did go on to direct, like The Last Starfighter. Yep. He directed the first Dennis the Menace movie.
Right.
He directed Major Payne.
That's right. I forgot that Damon Wayans movie. I totally forgot.
He directed that. Right. I think he even directed a movie with Ellen DeGeneres, I think. Mr. Wrong? Was that? Hey, Google. Who directed Mr. Wrong?
On the website IMDb.com, they say Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
No, I don't. No, I must be. That's not Ron Perlman. Really? Mr. Wrong, 1996. Is it Ron Perlman? No, Nick Castle. Okay. Mr. Wrong, Nick Castle, February. Google must have thought I meant another movie. So he wanted to be a director, and he did. He became a director, and he went down to hang out with his buddy, 1978, and he was there every day. And John Carpenter said, "Well, listen, if you're going to be, if you're going to be hanging out here, why don't you be the killer?" And Nick was like, "Well, what do I do? How do you want me to walk? What do you want me to do?" And he just said, "Just walk, just be yourself." Yeah. And just John said famously, I had him walk like a man instead of a monster to make him scary. And so look. Did Nick do little subtle things to bring his own little spin? Sure, but he wasn't giving that much thought to it. When you see Nick Castle walking across the street at the end of the movie quickly after Jamie Lee Curtis, that's just how he walks. Yeah, he's not putting on anything. No. If you've ever seen Nick Castle in person, now granted, he's 70-something years old now, got a little bit of a pot belly. His posture is a little bit different than it was 40 years ago, but I've seen him, and if anybody has seen him walk from point A to point B, it looks like Michael Myers from Halloween walking from point A to point B. Yeah, it just looks kind of funny. Like it just looks like him. So he's not putting on anything. Now, was the sit up and the methodical head turn? Yes, that definitely was something that he brought to the character because he wanted to make it seem very sort of cold and calculated and methodical and just very sort of weird and creepy and unhuman like, or inhuman, I should say. So yes, but all these things that
one of my favorite moments in a horror movie of all time. I was just thinking about that when he sits up in the head turn. I fucking love that scene.
It's fantastic.
I do.
It's one of my favorite moments, not just in Halloween, but one of my favorite in all of horror. But that's what it was. And he just, so over the years, we've dissected it because it's the best movie, and the way they utilize the shape in the movie is the best. If they had utilized the shape in the same way in other films, it would have allowed other portrayals to sort of shine a bit more, but we see him too much, and we see him in broad day, all these things. Anyway, I'm going on and on and on. But yes, Nick can say that he brought, I thought about this. Maybe he did a little bit, but really at the end of the day, he was just walking. He was just putting on a mask, walking from point A to point B, but it was how they utilized the shape. It was how they presented this man walking that just looks so darn awesome. How he's lit, how he's backlit, how he's front lit, how much he's on screen, how they bring up the dimmer for the mask. It's just it's everything firing that makes it seem wow. It's a wow, and he's just walking. You know what I mean?
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. Because you said something here, and I've been always curious to know your reasoning behind this. Now, you were saying, you started to say, I know where you were going with, how as the series led on, you saw Michael in the daylight. The whole second act of Halloween, he's in the daylight, but you don't like it. I've always been confused on that. Because in the original Halloween, the whole second act, Michael's in the daylight, standing in the bushes, Mr. Riddle's backyard, staring at Laurie from the window. Yeah, so I was just curious why you didn't like it in the other films versus to the original.
What I'm talking about really is, and I've done videos on this. It's not just about it's not really about the daylight. It's why it works in the original film so well is the distance for which we see him. And the analogy I use, and I've used it before in videos, the original film, Michael is that storm on the horizon. He's that impending doom. He's the dark clouds rolling in from a distance. So when Laurie sees him, the first time she sees him, of course, is out the school window across the street. He's at a distance. When she sees him again, he's at the bush at a distance. When she sees him again, he's in Mr. Riddle's backyard at a distance, but a bit closer to her. When she sees him again, well, I guess that would be the last time because it falls, tonight. So when we see him, we don't see him close up. We're not seeing him with any sort of clarity. Like in Halloween 2018, we see him put on the mask in broad daylight, close up, medium shot at a gas station.
In slow motion.
In slow motion. He closes the trunk. Now I like the shot. I like the creative choice through the windshield. I like that, seeing him there, but I think it would have been way more effective at nighttime with a single light source coming down on him, really showing you that the boogeyman is back close up.
You need to make a video with that mask on. You need to make a video with the
I could do that.
2018 mask on.
I could do that.
Whole outfit. And you can't close the trunk.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
Hilarious.
That would be really funny. But that's really what it is. And once we do see Michael close up, the very first time we see his mask close up, I believe, now with any sort of clarity in the 78 film, with any sort of clarity, is the phone scene when he rises into the frame and we see, and it's like, whoa, now, right now we're in his world. Darkness has fallen. The storm has arrived. The wind is blowing. The boogeyman is here. But throughout the second act, we see him from a distance because he's still those clouds insidiously moving into the neighborhood. What is that over there? Those are dark clouds in a distance moving in. A storm is coming. And then when we finally see him close up and with any sort of detail, not a lot, but with any sort of detail, it's at nighttime, it's in the dark, it's in the low key, lighting the moonlight, whatever the case is, that's when we see him close up. But the bush, the school, and the backyard are all from a distance. But he's getting closer and closer. I believe he's the furthest away across the street.
Yeah, from the school.
I think he's a little closer at the bush. And I think he's
said. Oh man.
And I think that's right. And I think he's even closer in Mr. Riddle's backyard. And of course, the next time we see him with any sort of clarity, of course, darkness has already fallen. So that's what it is. And I think that, like, in Halloween 5, we see him walking around like a lost puppy in broad daylight. We see his mask clear as day coming out of the closet behind Rachel. His mask is wide. He's coming out of the closet and he's got to bend his head to, kind of come under the bar in there, and he's going. And what's so dumb about that? Here's the dumbest thing about that scene. Here's the dumbest thing about that scene.
Rachel's death. Besides just the fact that it came
yes,
too early.
besides that, Michael is a predator. Okay, I'm just saying, right? He's stalking, right? He's stalking.
Yeah.
There's his opportunity to kill Rachel. Rachel is in a towel. She's vulnerable. She's alone. She's looking out the window. He decides to walk out of the closet and not kill Rachel at that moment. And people have said, well, maybe he didn't have a weapon. For fuck's sakes, he strangled everybody in the first 2 Halloween movies. He's always strangling people with the phone cord in the back of the car. And, but he's always strangling people. He could have just gone up and strangled her.
Jesus, he picked Brady up off the ground.
That's what I'm talking about. He didn't need a weapon. But what does he do? He comes out of the closet and he looks at her and then goes, and then leaves and exits frame. He's like, maybe not today. And I'm like, what are you
trying to create suspense?
They're
that's stupid. You know what I mean?
They're trying to create this level of suspense. What they should have done is they should have had him in. Oh, fine. Okay, say he's in the closet. That's what we have to do. Okay, that's what we have to do. Okay, he's in the closet. Right. Or his face slowly emerges from the darkness, just a little bit, right? Behind her, and you're like, oh shit, there he is. And then Rachel just leaves, and you just kind of see his face in the darkness, and then maybe it kind of dissipates away. It's like, oh, fuck, is he in the closet? What the fuck? That's cool. But to come out of the closet and not take that opportunity to kill that character, and then just leave the room? That doesn't make any sense. Why would he leave the room?
The narrative of who Michael is.
No, exactly. It's not what he would do. I have to wait till nighttime. It's so fucking. Anyway, there are many sequels where we see his face.
I don't know his name. Some French dude.
Dominic something Gerard or whatever his name is. I just think that's what I mean by. Whenever you hear me say Michael shouldn't be shown in daylight, that's what I mean. I don't mean that he shouldn't ever be shown in daylight, but you always keep him at a distance because it's eerier and it's creepier when you see somebody in a distance watching you in a mask.
I'm going to keep that mental note for my photos and keep him, when I shoot him in the daylight, keep him at a distance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? I mean, you can always.
Well, no, but I do. No, when I shoot my Michael pictures, I'm always shooting Cundy Carpenter. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. So that's all I mean is that when you see it from a distance, he's that storm he's coming. He's not there yet,
right?
But he's coming. Yeah. And then when night falls, it's like, oh, the storm has arrived, and that's I think and Carpenter utilized that brilliantly. Now I know what people are going to say. Well, we saw him, bump into Richie at the schoolyard during the day. Yes, but you're not seeing, you're seeing the side of him, you briefly see his mask, just briefly come into frame, and then you just see him sort of walking. There's still, because we're not seeing anything above his shoulders, there's no personal connection that's made, right? There's no personal connection to what this creature or thing looks like. So the reason why the Richie incident works, even though he's very close to the camera, is because we're not seeing his mask. If that framing had been, 2 feet higher, and we actually saw him, saw his face and everything, and he's looking around, I don't think that would have worked, but Carpenter is still keeping the enigma of who is this guy? Why can't we see his face here, shrouded in secrecy when it's daylight? You know what I mean? And that's why I think that scene works, even though you do see him, or you see his body anyway, fairly close to the camera. So that's it.
Hey, did you miss any super chats, by the way? I just want to make sure you.
Let me go back here. I don't think I did. Frank the Tank was Frank the Tank was the last one, and then one just came in here from.
Because I saw that. I just want to make sure that nothing prior to this one. Yeah,
Toronto Freddy says, I hate that Laurie refers to him as the shape in H18. It didn't bother me, but I think it was unnecessary because at no point in time, was he ever? I mean, that was just what you referred to as in the script. Yeah, I wonder if they know that. I don't know, but or maybe they'll explain it. Maybe because this is a new timeline, maybe they'll explain it. or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think it's like
I
the
mean,
throwaway
it'll be
line
interesting.
of it's like the throwaway line of the brother reference. You didn't need that. There was no need to reference that at all in the film.
No.
Like, at all. That's bad directing. That's bad writing. And the fact that you guys want to keep you're dumbing down your audience. We get it. You're retconning everything. We know you don't need to explain it. Have faith in your audience. Trust that we're intelligent enough to figure this shit out.
Well, exactly. And that was only done purely for fan service because of how embedded into the pop culture the brother sister arc is, because if you think about it, there was no need for it, because we didn't find out that Michael and Laurie were brother and sister until Halloween 2, a movie that does not exist anymore in this new timeline. So you're doing a sequel to the original only, and in that movie it's never revealed that they're related, because they weren't. So there was no need to even bring that up. You know what I mean? But I understand why they did. I mean, I get why they did. Let me see here. Max Raid says, Dave and T, who saw the boy insert inside that cow dung shit?
Huh? What? I don't
Dave
think I'm stoned enough to understand that.
Who saw the boy insert inside the cow dung shit? Is that a movie? Who saw Max? You're gonna have to at me and explain what that is. The cow dung shit. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that is. But at me and explain it a little further. Let me see.
Jerron the man, are you guys going to do a Halloween film? Yes, we are. Once Dave is done with, not only are we going to do a Halloween fan film, but I'm also going to pitch an idea to him for a direct sequel to Friday Part 2 that I would like to work with Dave on, and fly Dave down to Georgia to shoot it at the Part 6 filming location, because that's all we need to be is at the camp. We don't need to go anywhere else. That's what makes that camp so great. We can stay at the camp. We don't have to pay for hotels. All I have to do is to pay the $500, because that's all it'll cost me to get there to shoot. $500
for how many days?
I'm getting a deal for 4 days.
Wow.
I can get the camp for 4 days
for $500.
For $500, because they know me, because I'm always up there. They said they would hook me up and say, look, we'll charge you only $500, and if you want to make your short here, you can do that. So that's why I was going to talk to you about that idea, like fly you down, have you direct it so I can focus in on the cinematography and do a direct sequel to Friday Part 2. Keeping the sack. We're not doing the hockey mask. We're still keeping the sack.
Yeah, because that's what you don't see that a lot in Friday fan films.
That's what I'm saying. And we got a campground to do that.
I kind of like the idea.
And we can get Alice Cooper. We can get Alice Cooper to do a follow-up song to The Man in the Mask. We can call it He's Back.
The man in the Sack. He's
the man inside the sack. He's back.
He's back. The man inside the sack. I like it.
It's an
gotta
idea.
say.
I was like, I can get it really cheap. I'm like, fuck, we can do this. We could actually do a direct sequel to Part 3 and keep the sack storyline going.
And do like a short film.
That's it.
And kind of just it boom, like it opens. We're right there.
We're at the camp. We don't need to tell. We're ready to go. Ready to kill people.
There's a couple of counselors, or maybe there's a couple of people just camping, and you do kind of, maybe there's like around a campfire. Oh, hang on, no, we can't start talking about this now with people live. What the fuck?
But sure enough, yeah, we are gonna do fan films. We do have a Halloween fan film that a good pickup from Part 4, direct sequel to Part 4. But Dave's got his obviously project going on with It's Me Billy, and that's my Italiano coming out. And then of course he's doing the Nightmare on Elm Street. He's playing Freddy in that. So
yes,
I'm holding off, waiting until Dave let Dave get through those two projects.
See what that is.
And when Dave gets through those two projects, then we're gonna start working on the Halloween and Friday the 13th as well too. Because I meant to tell you that, but it's cool that I told you live, because I was gonna tell you after the stream.
No, I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a good a good idea.
The girl in the ask at the beginning of the shower scene. Okay.
No, wait. You just said, it's funny because you said it fast. You said the girl in the ass.
Whatever.
The girls.
Is this something that because I did put you in timeout, but then Frank corrected me and said that this was not a troll because I might have misunderstood. So that might have been my bad for putting you in timeout.
Oh, okay. Okay. What happened?
I just read what he wrote. When you don't have to read it publicly. I don't know. Is this an inside joke with you that you're aware of? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was my bad. I misinterpreted it, thinking that you were doing something that wasn't cool.
No,
so I put him in timeout. So that was my bad.
Yes. Yeah. No worries about that, guys. Yeah, that is during. Yeah, I get what the person's saying. Yeah. I know it happens. It happens, right? People make mistakes. No biggie. No harm. No foul. What it is during one of my hate mail videos, which I haven't done in a while, because I actually, ironically enough, since doing a bunch of those hate mail videos, I don't receive too many hate mail videos anymore, or hate mail videos. Hate mail.
Them out publicly.
I guess that's it. And maybe even though I don't say their names, I don't know. Maybe anyway. That was something that I got in a hate mail. One of the videos I did a while ago, where it was Dave McGay, are you still the Jew? And they called me a Jewish shill, and that I was like the martini without the woman, or something like that. And it was funny. I thought it was really, they're trying to insult me, but I thought it was hilarious. So that's what the girls, as at the beginning of the shower scene, is saying, like, are you still the, and it's like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. Totally cool. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's funny stuff, man. That's funny stuff.
DMT Infinity. How do y'all deal with personal self-criticism when you start feeling like all of your own art and other forms of entertainment are pathetic, meaningless, and will never amount to anything? I've got a great quote that was actually it was a quote that was, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the Flyers head coach back when the Flyers were the bullies in the late 70s, and they won a couple Stanley Cups. And this was actually, this quote really hit me hard, and it's so true. And the quote was, if you don't want to be criticized, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. And it's very, very powerful in itself. It was like, fuck, like, damn, that's as simple as it gets. If you don't want to be criticized in life, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. You're
bang on. That's a great quote. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I don't think I've heard that quote before. That's great.
Head coach's name. Do you remember him? You know who I'm talking about. Remember when the Flyers in the late 70s were like the bullies? And they
Broadway bullies, like, were they? Or were they the...
Something like that. Rob Zombie wants to make a movie on those guys in that time frame.
Great.
You picture that? But anyways, it was that head coach of the Flyers. He said that to the team, and I was like, damn, that's fucking powerful. Like, that
is powerful. That's a great quote. Like, that's a quote that that's a great quote. That's just really good. And
Broad Street. Thanks, Ian. Yeah.
The Broad Street bullies. Yeah. I think I said that. that.
You did.
But that's what they were. And the Philadelphia Flyers are actually my brother Bob's favorite hockey team. Which and they I think the last won the Stanley Cup in this.
Right then, the Broad Street
back
bullies.
then,
that might have been it. Because I don't think they won anything with Hextall, even though Hextall was a great goalie.
Oh yeah. Ron Hextall. No, they won it when was it Bobby Clark? I think Bobby Clark was on the Flyers. He was their general manager for a bit.
It's a great quote. It's one to definitely live by.
It's a good one.
Especially for someone like me and you who create content, put ourselves out there publicly. It's very, very true. Because you're right. If you don't want to be criticized because you're going to get criticized by people, then stay behind the shadows. Don't do anything.
Well, now what I do, and I don't do it all the time, but now if there's a troll or if there's somebody that's just saying they don't, they're like, oh, you fucking piece of shit, whatever, I will just, respond and as like the third person. And it really sort of probably confuses them. Like, they probably think I'm on crack, like
tripping on acid.
Yeah, they'll say something like, Dave, I fucking hate your videos, you're just a piece of shit, or something like that. And then I'll respond and say,
almost went Trump there.
It's really, I fucking hate your videos, it's shit.
But I'll respond and be like, exactly, I fucking hate this blowhard too, he's such a douchebag. And I never hear back from them because they're probably like, I don't know how to respond to that, because I guess they know that it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? That's the way it is, folks. The way it is. Max Rate. Oh, okay. Baby's going to clarify. Max Rate. I've had people think I'm you. I'm not you. Oh, I've had so many people. Not so many. I've had probably about 2 or 3 people reach out to me and say that people have responded to them thinking that I'm them. and that they think I have like 3 or 4 fake accounts where, I log on, I start responding. I have 2 accounts. I have this account and I have a VoiceMann account, which is not very active. I just upload all my, well, not all of it, but every now and then if there's something I want to showcase, I'll upload a voiceover I've done or something like that. Yeah. But I've get and people do. People do. I know Max Raid. I recognize the name Max Raid, and I think Max comes to my defense a lot.
And he helped me out this week, and I want to thank him for that because I misspoke last week during the stream with Halloween 2018.
Oh, okay.
On the Judy Greer information, I misunderstood the sweater. He corrected me on that, and when I looked it up,
cool.
It was a direction that Gordon Grieve gave Judy Greer's character to wear the sweater, and it was from an Entertainment Weekly article. I did misunderstand it because I interpreted it as again, this is a couple years ago. The way I interpreted it was she was doing it from her choice because she hates Halloween, and he corrected me.
I saw that. So, I saw that
okay,
comment.
Cool. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, we make mistakes.
100% happens. I make mistakes too. Yeah. No, Max has been he's been a viewer of mine for a while, and I know that sometimes when people either troll me or whatever it is, he'll often comment and say defend me or whatever. But I think what ends up happening is that when people start to see people defending you or bringing another point of view or something, these trolls will think that's you. You know what I mean? Will think that you've logged into another account or you're trying to, and I'm not saying that people don't do that. I mean, there could be people that do that. I don't do that because I actually, number one, I've never thought to do that. Number two, why would I do that when I can just respond as myself? I have no issues responding as myself.
Yeah, I know, right?
I have no issues doing that.
I have no filter. You guys know that. So if someone's gonna attack me, if I have time, I'm gonna give it right back to you. I'm not gonna fucking hide. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't
cater to that PC bullshit. If I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna say it.
Exactly. So, and I do respond as myself, but certainly I can't respond to everybody. But yeah, Max, don't worry about it. Just laugh it off. If they want to think you're me, let them think you're me. But you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Let me see here. What's this? The false prophet says, Dave McRae is Kevin Durant. Laugh my ass, Kevin Durant. I'm everywhere. No, I've had about 2 or 3 people message me and say, you're not going to believe this, but so-and-so. And they'll show me like the link and I'll look at it and I'm like, let them think that. If they want to think it, let them think it. I couldn't care less. No. Aaron Click says, Dave and Tony, will you do shows on the 2005-2012 era of comedy, such as Knocked Up, I Love You Man? That's a 40 over.
I never really
very
watched
specific.
Any of those,
yeah.
To be honest with you. I mean, I watched 40-Year-Old Virgin of all of those that you just mentioned. The rest of them, I have never seen. I've never seen Knocked Up. I know that's Seth Rogen, right? Seth Rogen's in Knocked Up.
Yeah. 40-Year-Old Virgin. Yeah, that was 2005. I like that movie.
Yeah, that one I could see us doing, but the others I don't know.
To do that specific time frame is kind of like, why 5 to 12? That seems kind of.
Now there's horror movies in that run that will certainly do, like Paranormal Activity and stuff that came out in that time frame.
Yeah.
2005. Conjuring. I think we got the Conjuring coming up actually. So I think I can't speak for Dave, but I will say the majority of my movies are horror. Then I've got a small selection of comedy. I don't have a big collection. I've got a lot of drama films. I've got a lot of thriller films. A lot of those. Those are like probably that and horror are in my, as far as catalog goes. Those are my biggest.
Right.
I don't have too many of those rom-coms. Is that what the term is? Romantic
rom-coms. Yeah. Just want to make sure.
There's only a couple that I think I have.
No, we didn't miss a super chat. Okay. Just want to make sure. I don't believe we did. Jim Dorsey says, at Dave and Tony, have you ever uploaded a video or photo and eventually took it down due to backlash or just not personally liking it?
Yeah, I do that all the time for my photos because I'm always upping my editing skills, and I'm always changing my editing skills. So sometimes I'll go back and go, I could have done that better. You know what I mean? And I'll do it better. Right.
I don't believe I've ever.
Video would be harder though.
I don't think I've ever taken a video down. I have uploaded videos before where I when it's uploaded, I'm like, damn, I forgot to talk about that, or damn, that's a really good point. So you'll sometimes see me do an addendum video. An addendum just essentially means, additional or omitted information that's extra that maybe should have been in the, you know what I mean? So you'll sometimes see me do that because I'm like, oh shit, I need to talk about that. It's so important. So it's an addendum video, but I don't think I've ever deleted a video. Because of that. Tweets, I've deleted tweets before, but not because of anything I've said that's been bad. I've deleted them because just maybe to clean up my Twitter feed, just to like, maybe I have too much of one thing and the tweet only got 10 likes anyway or something and no comments. I'm like, I need to clean this up a little bit. So I'll get rid of things that just didn't really hit or land. But not because of anything that I regret. No, I've been pretty good so far, surprisingly, because I'm very outspoken. So
yeah, I don't have Twitter. My body may be in the 2020 PC culture, but my mouth is still in the 80s and 90s. So I'd be banned from Twitter every 30 minutes for the shit I say and and the people that I would offend. Sorry, no filter. Not sorry. Yep.
Toronto Freddy says, do Spaceballs. Oh, Spaceballs. What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie? Now.
Right now.
No, hang on. I got it. What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the show? Right now. Everything that happens now is happening now. What happened to then? We passed then. When? Just now. We're at now. Go back to then. When? Now. Now. I can't. Why? We missed it. When? Just now. When will then be now? Soon.
Hey, I heard he went out of retirement.
He never really apparently was officially retired, but yes, he is. Yeah, well, he was taking care of his kids. He is coming back. He is going to be co-starring, let's face it, in a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot.
Okay.
I have mixed feelings about this. Certainly, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids from 1989, I think it was, is definitely a Rick Moranis classic. Was a classic, film at that time. But it's bittersweet. Because unless they've done one of the greatest tricks of all time, Rick Moranis is not going to be in the new Ghostbusters. And it feels sad because, Annie Potts is, Sigourney Weaver is, Bill Murray is, for God's sakes.
Oh my God, talk about
people will lose their mind.
Oh, I will go nuts if he shows up in Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah. But apparently he's not going to be in it, but he is going to be in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot, playing the same guy, as an older guy now, and I think it's his son that now ends up shrinking people or whatever. But the thing is that okay, that's really cool. But damn, I would really, I'll be honest with you. If I had a choice between that or Ghostbusters, it's Ghostbusters all the way. It's Louis Telly all the way. I think that was his name in the movie, right? Louis Telly, I think.
Louis.
Yeah. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? And I don't think he was adverse to it. Maybe it was the script. Maybe he just was like, But yes, he is coming back.
We're totally doing Ghostbusters, by the way.
Oh my God!
As it gets closer to the release of the movie, I think is when we'll probably do a Ghostbusters.
Yes, 100%. Yes, yeah. So that'd be more towards the summer, man.
In the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids I only know her as the blonde from Jurassic Park. Is she going to be in it? Because she was the kid in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
She was. I don't know. That's a good question. There's not too much information about it yet.
She was the blonde. I can't remember her name. She's the blonde in Jurassic, but she's also Holdo in The Last Jedi, the purple hair chick.
Oh, her. Wait, she was the mom in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
No, she was the daughter in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No.
Yeah.
No. You're thinking of Laura Dern. Laura Dern wasn't the daughter in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You're thinking of the kid. The blonde kid that was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was the blonde kid in Jurassic Park, but it was the female scientist in Jurassic Park that was Holdo in The Last Jedi. That's Laura Dern.
Who am I confusing?
Yeah, Laura Dern was the scientist in Jurassic Park who played opposite Sam Neill.
Yeah.
She's that blonde. She is Holdo in The Last Jedi. The blonde young girl in Jurassic Park is the same girl in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Because there's only 4 years between Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Jurassic Park.
her name. Oh, Amy O'Neill. Thanks. I confused him. Confused the blondes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking it up now. I see it. Okay, I did confuse it because they had sort of similar features, so that's why I confused them. So all right.
Yeah.
Huh,
Yeah.
funny.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll go for another 5 minutes. Bring it to 9:45. That's a good round number. 9:45. 5 more minutes, folks. 5 more minutes. And I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock a.m. on McRae Live. Don't know what I'm talking about yet. I have a few ideas. Going to get Tony on the show soon.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hunter Salisbury says, I love your channel, Dave. Can you give me a shout out? Yes, Hunter Salisbury. Salisbury? Hopefully I hit it. Salisbury? Hopefully I hit one of those. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. Really appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day. Golford's Dog says, Laura Dern, the ultimate hot older woman. She's probably not that much older to you guys. She's in her... would be...
Nev would be more like that. Nev is not that much older than us. Nev's only 46.
No, Laura Dern is... Well, no, she's... Laura Dern's 53. So she's 13 years older than us.
Yeah. Nev is a little closer. Nev's only 6 years older than us.
Yeah.
The girls asked at the beginning of the shower scene, Dave and Tony, have you seen The Town That Dreaded Sundown? Not yet.
No, I haven't yet.
It's the inspiration. I do know that it's the inspiration for the Sackhead Jason. I have it. It's one of those movies I bought it because I've heard so much great things about it. I've got to make time and just watch the movie. You know?
Yeah, I got to do that too.
Sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
And there's no way we could do it live because I'm watching it for the first time. It would be hard to watch and appreciate, the film. But yeah, definitely something I do want to watch soon.
For sure. Oliver Mercer says, hey, Dave and Tony, would you do the Terminator 2 on two dudes? Yeah.
At some point. At
some point.
Sure. Yeah,
it's used
probably
to that.
Alien and Aliens, at some point. Those.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. 100% there, man. 100% there.
Oh, the Candyman trailer dropped?
Yeah, it dropped a couple of days ago. I watched it.
I've been so busy with work.
It reminds me very much of now Jordan Peele's not directing it, but it feels like a Jordan Peele film.
Okay.
And I don't know. I mean, it looks promising. I like the trailer did a good job on selling me on the potential. But whether it'll end up being really good or not, I don't know. Comes out later this year at some April. Okay. No, June. When the fuck does it come out? The chat room will let us know.
It comes out here, McRae.
La 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 la.
Swifty the gamer. Rachel in the shower scene is the best part of Halloween 5. Just saying. I 100% agree with that.
Rachel in the shower scene?
Yes. Rachel in the shower scene of Halloween 5.
I've suppressed that movie. I gotta think about that.
You were just talking about it. How
I
could
know.
You suppress it?
Oh no. Oh, the showers. Well, yeah. I guess she's in the towel when she's walking around. PC Pierce, thank you, buddy, for supporting the channel. Says, whose work do you value more overall, Bill Murray or John Candy? Well, that's whose work do I value more overall? John. See, they're two different. Like John Candy was always the really, John Candy had a very lovable, endearing side to his characters. Bill Murray was more slapstick, the annoying guy. Yeah. But you liked him. He was that friend. He was a goofball, but you liked him. John Candy was somebody you fell in love with. You know what I mean? And that's
saying that.
And I love Bill Murray, but we're talking about the characters that they often play, right?
We could use a good John Candy movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's been too long, obviously, for those who didn't get to see him when he was, releasing films back in the 80s and 90s. It was great. He's a legend. And, our world right now in Hollywood could use those types of movies,
100%.
Very much missed.
Yeah, he was such an incredible presence. And I remember I didn't get a chance to meet him, unfortunately. My brother
He's a Canadian boy, right?
He is born right here in Toronto.
You guys just crank them out, man.
We do. We bust them out. And my dad met him. I have a picture of my dad and John Candy somewhere around here. And my brother Neil got to meet John Candy because it was his favorite actor at the time. And I think I was going to go meet him, but then I think it was past my bedtime or something.
Dave, go to bed.
Dave, go to bed. But he was just a big guy. He was a bit, not just, but he was tall. He was like 6'3" or whatever he was. And just a heart of gold. And so unfortunate that he didn't take better care of himself, and he, of course, died of a heart attack while shooting Wagons East in his sleep. I think he died in his sleep, and it's too bad. But yeah, John Candy always had a very lovable side to it. He was just such a, oh my God! And my favorite, of course, is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Just an amazing film.
I like
which
Planes,
we watched
Trains.
last year.
Though I would say of all his movies I watched the most, it's a toss up between Uncle Buck and Great Outdoors.
Oh, I love The Great Outdoors.
I know. It's a toss up between as far as which ones I do like Planes, Trains. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Those would be the top three. It's like, but I watch Great Outdoors a lot more, and I watch Uncle Buck a lot more as well too.
Right.
It's Great Outdoors is such a good movie.
Oh, it's so
we
good.
gotta do a live stream with
we
that.
Should. That
Great Outdoors.
It's a good movie. Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's funny too, because Dan Aykroyd is also Canadian. So you have two Canadians in the lead taking a vacation to Canada. And I think it was shot up in Vancouver, I think it might have been.
Probably,
or it might have,
looks it. That's the way I used to picture that. That's why I thought Canada was like that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, parts of Canada are like that. Parts of the from Calgary west, so Alberta and BC are very mountainous, and yes, of course. But of course, Calgary is a thriving metropolis city. So is Vancouver. So is Edmonton. Well, Edmonton's a bit smaller. Toronto is like your New York of Canada. Like there's no mountains, it's just big skyscrapers and the whole, fucking thing. But yeah. No, but they went into the wilderness into Canada. But that was such a great movie. That was so good. I love that movie. Yeah, we definitely have to do that movie. PC Pierce, last super chat, says, thoughts on 1991 Sleeping with the Enemy. I like that movie.
Good movie. Good Julia.
Good Julia Roberts movie. And I wouldn't mind if that's a movie I could see them remaking. Now, I don't know if they would do it well.
And you don't even need to call it Sleeping with the Enemy. You can call it something else.
No, you can call it something completely different. Now, there have been other sort of premises like that, but that is definitely a movie that was
really, the beginning of the early 90s shift in horror to more psychological horror. Sleeping with the Enemy, Silence of the Lambs,
Silence of the Lambs,
really
The Hand That Rocks the Cradle,
that began for us what became the early 90s horror genre, sort of. It wasn't slasher horror, but it was the more thriller, suspense type horror films.
That's right. And there's always I find that there's quite a few of those early 90s movies like this, whether it's Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Sleeping with the Enemy, Shattered, not so much Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs has a big movie kind of feel to it, but certainly Sleeping with the Enemy, Shattered, Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Single White Female, they have almost like that TV movie kind of vibe. Like they kind of have that vibe to it, you know what I mean? Early 90s kind of, there was kind of that yeah, it was kind of funny, but great movie. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. Early 90s, Julia Roberts, just after Pretty Woman, I believe. Infiltrator sends in the last. Oh, he's getting one last super chat in. The Infiltrator says, "Hey guys, wanted to stop by and say hi. Wondering if either of you are interested in seeing The Invisible Man. I saw it and thought it was great. I love Lee's work. Keep up the great work." Wow. He follows up with, "Hey guys, wanted to say hi. What if wondering if either of you are interested in seeing the." Oh, he sends in the same thing, but he sent it in twice just because he's a great supporter of the channel. Infiltrator, you are amazing. I do want to see The Invisible Man. Tony, do you want to see The Invisible Man?
Yeah, it's probably not going to be one that I'm going to catch in the theaters. I've got a busy month this month with work. In fact, probably the only thing I am going to catch in theaters will be what's the Quiet Place 2.
Oh, Quiet Place 2. Right.
That comes out in a couple of weeks. It's one of those movies that I do want to see. I just schedule right now. It's just trying to get to the theaters.
I would like to see, and same here. Like between the work that I'm doing, and of course, I got a meeting with Bruce on Wednesday evening in regards to It's Me, Billy. We are starting to go through the auditions that have come in and that are still coming in for some of our roles. festivals. And so I would like to get to the theater to see it, but I don't know if I'm going to. But yes, I definitely want to see it. And I'm going to try and see it soon. And then we'll leave it here. Frank Riker sends in the last super chat. This is great. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank says, I slept with the enemy. They're called X's. Go, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to do it.
All week.
Frank is here all week. Tip your waitress, folks. My name's Dave McRae. He's Tony Michael. This is episode 59 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Hey, if you want to follow Tony Michael on Instagram, right below there, Tony Michael photo, Tony Michael pics. Tony, do you have anything else you want to say?
Good stream tonight, guys. Good hanging out with you, watching Scream 4. Fun time. And we'll be back again here next week.
Yeah, next week. Absolutely. My name's Dave McRae. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you can look right below my window there, right below the window there. Hey, links to my Facebook, my official website, whatever else. It's down in the description as well. It's all down there. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks for the super chats and supporting the channel in that way. And thank you for all the questions. If we didn't get to them, of course, nothing personal. It's always busy in here. But we appreciate you tuning in. We will be back next week. And I'll be back tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. McRae Live. Alrighty, that'll do it. Cheers.